My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
yada yada.
And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Inside every California avocado is a story. It's shaped by idyllic conditions, full of rich soil, gentle rain, and friendly California sunshine, where avocados flourish. Crafted with care by dedicated local farmers who are committed to responsible, sustainable growing. The best avocados have California in them. To understand why, all you have to do is open one up. In season now. Visit CaliforniaAvocado.com to learn more.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright. Or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19 and episode number 4079. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, D. Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, the Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Tig.
Click, clack.
All right, here we go. North Carolina man wins $1 million scratch-off because he wanted a hot dog. Meanwhile, because of drugs, one lake's fish population is in a hazy, buzz-type fog.
Drugs!
In Georgia, one stolen front loader is stopped by a bigger loader. Grandson tries to burn down Meemaw's car because of the money that he owed her. And 11 masked bandits are on the loose in the Netherlands. Yeah. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, unfortunate things happen to everyone. And depending on how you define luck, maybe you see it coming. All right, so a man from Mercer Island, he spent 5 hours on a life raft in the middle of the ocean after a sailboat sank. Now, he knew he was in trouble when the boat started getting hit with 28-foot-tall waves during a storm. At that point, you just kind of know. In California, 2 brothers were attacked by a mountain lion, and usually cougars stalk and then launch a surprise attack, but not this one. No, this mountain lion approached them, and in spite of them doing the things you're supposed to do in that situation, make yourself bigger, yell, etc., the cougar charged them anyway. That gave them just enough time to crap themselves. And then there's a guy, well, he found himself in an equally dangerous situation. He was not attacked by a wild animal. He was not on a sinking ship. No, instead, he left his fiance's wedding dress on top of his car and then drove off, losing the dress. We're just assuming that had to be a very fun conversation, and frankly, I'd rather deal with a mountain lion. That's just me. But today, we're not necessarily talking about that bad thing that happened to you, but the moments leading up to that bad thing that happened to you. The moment that you knew the S was about to hit the fan, and there's just nothing you can do about it. So today's question, quite simply, is, what was the moment you knew this is not good?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
1, 2, 3, 4. Those are numbers. But you already knew that. If you want to know what number you're going to pay each month for your car, use Kelley Blue Book My Wallet on Auto Trader. They're really good at numbers. Auto Trader.
If you've ever wondered if you can pull off cowboy boots, then you should pull on a pair of Tacovas. Comfortable right out of the box and available in dozens of timeless men's and women's styles. Their handcrafted boots are ready to put the world at your heels. When comfort leads, confidence follows. And Tacovas delivers both right to your door. Visit Tacovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com. And don't go gently. You'll love where you're headed.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, but y'all, away we go. Welcome to Season 19, Episode number 4079. What a large and a charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. The exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, I don't know how you do it. You find people doing bad things in the news.
Oh, yeah.
Then you bring us 3 stories every week. It is up to us to determine, out of these 3 stories, which one sucks the least. How are we looking this week?
Not the best. Not the best. Although Mike was entertained by one of the stories.
Yeah.
It's mildly entertaining, but it's just at the cost of great humiliation to the people in the story. I think that's a fair way of putting it.
Yes. Oh, what else do we have for you today? Oh, be sure to download and subscribe to the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app. Odyssey app is absolutely free. When you get there, search for the Men's Room and then subscribe to our page. You will get our brand new Happy Hour podcast every Friday morning, along with the daily podcast, the weekly podcast, Greatest Story Never Told, the podcast, Megacast, all in one location, including the Men's Room radio channel. It's all there for you on the Odyssey app. We got a chance to put together our own music station. So if you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now and listen to us anywhere you travel in the country. If you're enjoying the weekend somewhere, you want to catch up on previous episodes, it is all there in one location. And today we're going to talk about that moment where you knew, man, this is not good. This is not a good situation to be in. And we have a guy right here in Mercer Island that went through a crazy experience. He was rescued from the middle of the Atlantic Ocean while sailing from Brazil to South Africa. You got a second life, he said. This according to Balthasar Weiss. An opportunity at another life, and it does something really interesting to you. He was able to escape a sinking sailboat and fought to survive the rough waters on a life raft for 5 hours. Tremendous thing for you when you're about to die or you think you're going to die and you know there's somebody out there who cares about you, someone who cares. It's unbelievable. He was emotional, grateful to be back at his home on Mercer Island. A couple days after the trip, he says he'll never forget. It was a little bit of everything. It was a dream trip and a nightmare trip all at the same time. He met two men through a website that connects captains with crew. Their journey was supposed to be 4 weeks of sailing on a 54-foot-long sailboat from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil to Cape Town, South Africa.
Sounds kind of cool.
He said it was a great trip until they encountered Mother Nature halfway through. There were 28-foot-tall waves coming and crashing over you and over the boat. Winds 40 knots plus. So incredibly severe was the conditions of the storm. Now, debris from the ocean damaged their boat, which then started to sink. The three issued an SOS over satellite, and that triggered an international rescue operation. The next morning, as the boat's condition continued to worsen, the three men prepared the life raft. Now, to ensure it detached properly, the captain stayed on the sinking boat to unhitch it, so he and the other crewmates could go free.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a big deal. The greatness of humanity, that some people go all the way, and then some more to save other people's lives, which is an incredible thing. And I'm going to be grateful for that for the rest of my life, he said. He said he and the other mates were in a 5x5 life raft for about 5 hours until an oil tanker spotted them. He said he couldn't thank the crew of the oil tanker enough and the captain of the vessel, as well as Captain Fry, for his life-saving measures. They are, for me, symbols of the best in humanity. That they are so compassionate and care for others is unbelievable. He said he and his other crewmates stayed on the oil tanker for 4 days until they got to Cape Town before flying back to their respective homes.
So the oil tanker was actually going to where they were planning to go in the first place.
Either that, or they got the SOS, and that was the closest ship in the area.
That might be
sometimes they divert the route to see if they can find the boat, they can find any survivors, all of that.
Right.
So they got lucky. They were only out there for 5 hours, but the storm was still pretty strong.
Well, it's the thing, right? You're on a lifeboat, but that same storm that sunk your boat is still happening around you.
And it's one thing to be off the coast of Brazil or off the coast of Africa, where at least, maybe a helicopter can get to you or something quick.
Sure.
They were in the middle of the fattest part of the Atlantic Ocean. So, they were in the middle of frickin' nowhere. There's no islands.
Right, there's nothing.
There's nothing out there. Maybe one little small,
Maybe. I don't think so, man.
And when you get that far south,
I don't know that I've ever been in open water like that.
No, even when I took that cruise, we're in the Mediterranean, and for the most part, you weren't going to swim to land, but on some level you feel better because you could still see land. So, you're like, all right, if the ass hits the fan, to your point, they can get a helicopter out here, boats, whatever it is we need.
Yep.
But yeah.
Maybe whale watching off of Cape Cod, but I feel like you could still see Nantucket, in the distance.
Yeah, so how far out do they go for that, though, man? These guys were, truly in the middle of nowhere.
You go out 2 hours to fish for tuna. They are so far past.
Right.
They're days out at sea. It's 5 weeks. They're 2.5 out.
Yeah, you're as far away from land as you're probably ever going to be at that point. And of course, that's when the storm hit.
No boat. No, the boat's sinking. It's being hit by debris. You can't use your motor. You're absolutely screwed.
And the thing is, I don't know if that's good or bad, right? On the one hand, a lot of people say, if something bad's going to happen to me, just let it happen without me seeing it coming. You know what I mean? But in this case, okay, you got 20-foot waves. You know the storm is bad. And then it starts taking on water, and you recognize you're not going to be able to get all that water out of there. But they even said it was the next morning that the ship finally sank.
Yeah. And you got to remember,
so for hours, you're just thinking, this is not good. This is bad.
Yeah. In the southern hemisphere right now, it's still summer. Right. So when you're out in that water, when the sun does come up, these are the stories. It's one thing to just have it happen,
Yeah.
And it's
how most people want it.
And I know this sounds morbid, but, with your animals, when you watch them slowly deteriorate and you do the best you can financially or whatever you can do to extend their lives, but the inevitable. You know the road, and you got to watch this happen and try to feed your dog, try to feed your cat, try to get them healthy, give them the medication they need, do all the things that you're supposed to do, but there's no turning back, and you got to watch this happen. Where some dogs just drop.
Yeah, it doesn't wake up that day.
And you're devastated. But you don't have to watch that process happen.
Yeah.
Now, when you're on a life raft in the middle of the ocean,
you start to see things. You start to get delusional. You might be out there for days. It's this long
You
process.
have no idea. They got lucky 5 hours, man.
You're surrounded by water, but you can't drink it.
Yeah.
You can't drink
And
any
if
of
you
this
do,
water.
it gets worse. And some people do. And then they see 7-Eleven, which is not a 7-Eleven. They start swimming toward it. The next thing you know, they're gone.
It's one of those shows, I can't believe I survived or something like that. And it's the worst one I've heard, but they were off the coast of the U.S. They were supposed to go from like Boston to Miami or something. But anyway, they're far enough away you couldn't see land. The boat goes down for whatever reason. One of the people, of course, gets injured, so she's bleeding. But they get in these life rafts. But this has attracted sharks. So they're out there, I want to say, for like 4 or 5 days. All right. And one of the things that happened, I guess you have like this survival case that you're supposed to kind of take with you on a lifeboat. And somehow that got lost and they're watching it float away. This chick who's injured, they can't do anything for her. They can't help her. Now the sharks are pounding the bottom of these boats. Keep in mind, and these are like cheap-ass little life rafts, man. And this goes on for days. And keep in mind, it started with 7 people. By the time they got rescued or made it to Florida or whatever the hell happened at the end, I want to say there were 2 left. So she dies on the boat, and she's bleeding. And again, the sharks keep attacking the boats. They can smell the blood. So they're like, we felt weird, man, but like when she died, we just had to push her overboard. So they push her overboard, and the sharks immediately just rip her apart. They're still floating. They got a couple more days out there. And then it was, do not drink the water. Dying of thirst. Everyone's getting sunburnt, and they're all chapped and all this. Well, 2 of the guys are like, F it. They started drinking the seawater. Sure enough, they went crazy. So one dude stands up in the boat, swears that he sees land. And they're like, we knew he was delusional. You're trying to talk him out of it. But he insists he can see land. Steps off the boat to swim. The sharks immediately pulled him under. And he said, the guy who's kind of recalling the story, he goes, it sounds bad, but after being out there that long and watching this guy step off the boat and get devoured by sharks, it's like you were kind of desensitized to it.
Right.
Like we had to accept the fact. Then the other guy lost his mind, and I think that's right here at the 7-Eleven thing, where it's like he swears he sees the 7-Eleven or he's going to get a Slurpee or something. And they're like, dude, don't get in the water. He got in the water. They said he screamed for like 1 second. Sharks ripped him apart. Somebody else died from exposure. So again, starts with 7 people. By the time they arrest you, there's 2 people left. And when you die, they'll throw your ass overboard. And like the sharks were constantly coming, and it was one of those inflatable kind of things. They're worried that they're going to pop, the inflatable, we're going to sink, we're going to die. But the sharks were so close, they said you could feel them under the raft.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, but I could not stop watching this, but I'm like, this is the worst freaking story I've ever heard in my life, man.
Yeah. I'm terrified of heights. That's one thing. It's a fact.
Yeah.
If you are on the water, typically, not much to worry about.
Well, you're at sea level.
Yeah. I've told this story before, but we went, I was 12.
You're right.
Yeah.
You are at sea level.
I was 12, 13 years old, and we go for a Boy Scout trip in French-speaking Quebec. And it was about a 12 to 13-day excursion. We did close to 90 miles.
Okay.
We basically just did a complete circle. But at one point, and I'll never forget this, there were a couple dads were with us. The guy that I had in the canoe was a gentleman named Bill Bragg. Now, Bill Bragg, he was not the most helpful. He was also not the best canoeist, and he was in the back of the boat because he insisted that he was going to be the captain of the ship, like that kind of thing.
Is he an adult or your buddy?
He's an adult. He's one of the he's one of the fathers of a kid that was in Scouts who was a few years younger than me.
All right,
but he in his mind he knew a lot.
A lot of people like that,
but he did not know. He was not very skillful, to say the least. So at any rate, he's not a very strong paddler. He is in the back. When you're in the back of a canoe, typically, you are the guy that is steering the boat, that's controlling the boat.
Yeah.
The muscles up front. That's where I was. I'm just paddling.
Oh, the muscles you did there.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
I
not.
say
No, but
that's
he's
a
not-
humble little brag.
Well, no, but he's not. He's not capable of that. Like, he's not capable of doing any one of these two things. It's just the fact that I'm 13 years old with endless energy, and I've been paddling for 4 or 5 days. So I've got this thing cranked out, man. I'm just putting my head down and digging. Now, the guy in the front of the canoe also should have the map.
Yes.
But he would not let me have the map. All right? So he's this guy. I got the map. I'm in control. I'm like, all right, Bill, you got it, man. We start going down this. We get out of this off this huge lake Kibbewa, and now we're in what looks to be a river. It's going down to another body of water.
All right.
And then the rapids start to pick up. And I'm going to say from years of canoeing and doing some rafting, some of these chutes that we were hitting were at least number 2s, almost number 3s. They were pretty substantial.
Were you still comfortable at this point?
I was digging in up through the waves, trying to keep the nose of the canoe up because we had a pack in the middle. We had a lot of weight.
Right.
We're riding low because of all the camping gears in the middle of it. So I'm just trying to bust through stuff, keep it up. I'm looking to my right and my left, and there are all these portage points where you would pull over and you could see the trails, and they were very wide on the side of the banks where people had gotten out and taken their canoes and walked them through the woods. And I'm like, Bill, check this map. We only had one map among 20 guys that were out there. We're the lead canoe. We have the map. And we start really picking up speed. And I'm like, Bill, check this map. And it's in a Ziploc, like a quart-sized Ziploc bag. Now, a portage point is denoted by a little line that goes across the water, which means this area is impassable.
Right.
It was in the seam of the map. So when he was flipping the map back and forth and over between the two places, he couldn't see the line. And, I mean, and now we're flying. The guys behind us are pulling over.
Right, they're getting off the...
There are a few, but the ones that are directly behind us, they're smoking it like we are. And now we're picking up steam to the point where the current is just kind of carrying us, and Bill cannot keep the canoe out of just the general current of the river. So it's swaying to the left. It's coming back to the middle. We're doing all those things. We're avoiding rocks. And then we really shoot down this thing, and, man, the heat is on. And I'm like, oh, no. And I hear... And I look, and there's a ledge. And then below that is a lake. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Let's do the math here.
Oh, my God.
Waterfall.
So we're
Right. Not good.
We're flying at this thing, man. And I'm like, this is going to end real poorly.
Right.
So
did you think you're going to die?
I did not know how big this waterfall was, but it was pretty substantial. So we're in like these old, big ass grooming canoes, the metal kind and all that. Fortunately for us, the first drop was only about 9 to 10 feet.
Oh, is that all?
It was not bad. Well, actually, the length of a canoe is like 20. I mean, those things are big. So, once they tip down, it's not as bad as you think because they're big.
Right.
But when the bottom went down, of course, I submarine down from front. I've got my paddle behind me like I'm,
holding
riding a roller coaster.
Yeah.
This thing goes straight down, man. The front is the front of a canoe is the whole front and the back. They have a huge thing of styrofoam in there to
right
for buoyance. We basically kangaroo in this thing, man. The front shoots out, and then we go down the next waterfall.
Jesus Christ.
Because it's a cascading step waterfall. So I get down to that one. Now, we're still upright, which is freaking amazing. We're still, the boat's still up. And I look up, and all you see is the top of another canoe coming right above.
Oh, because they're following you, right?
They're right behind us, man. And I'm like, oh, my God. I don't know how that thing didn't destroy me. Then when that canoe landed on our canoe, it toppled ours. Then we rolled down to the third waterfall, went over that as individuals and as gear with a boat coming over top of us. I mean, I stood up and I was like, and I'm 12 years old, I'm 13 years old. I'm trying to have respect for Bill. But at the same time, I want to kill him.
Yeah.
I want to kill him. I had my paddle in my hand, God damn it, Bill Bragg.
It's amazing you didn't die.
I know. But I mean, I was I knew immediately when I heard, and I'm like, that's a waterfall.
Right.
This is like Land of the Lost. All this damn thing in a canoe. What was the moment that you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Are you ready to take the next step in your career? King County, a leader in government services, is on the lookout for talented individuals to join our team. King County offers an inclusive, welcoming work environment where innovation and creativity thrive. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting your journey, we have positions that could be a perfect fit. Competitive salaries, excellent benefits, and career development are just some of the perks you may receive. Visit our website, kingcounty.gov/careers, and join King County. Thrive where you work.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, what was the moment that you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
One quick text there says, "Hola, bitches. I knew something was going really bad when I was 16, and my mom's friend picked me up from the movie theater. She asked me if I wanted to drive. Well, I had never driven a car before, so I knew it was a bad idea. She had an 88 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Turn radius was awful. There was traffic. I found out years later that she wanted me to drive because she was flying high on cocaine."
I'll tell you what, though, that was a great car back in the day. I love that car. Oh,
Hell yeah.
Oh, my God, that Cadillac. God, yeah. It was a Mac Daddy.
I think my grandfather had one for a couple of years, man. I'm always like, oh, dude.
Man, it's a coupe.
Yeah, my mom had a sedan DeVille.
2 doors.
The coupe DeVille.
Right. Yeah, right. Okay.
Right?
All
the
right.
sedan was like...
All
right.
the sedan 4, yeah.
The sedan DeVille was like... Put it to you bluntly, it's a hood classic.
Yes.
Right? It's got that big body back, right? It was like mid-90s. I mean, I love driving that car. She had gotten it.
How much cred did you get? I know you drove it with the windows down.
Smoked hubcaps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And she had gotten it, like, she bought it off, like, her old boss or whatever. But, I mean, that was one of those cars. Like, people are always like, how much? I'm like, I'm not selling it.
People, you're right.
But
that
that
in a
thing,
gas station, and it can be, hey, man, how much you want for the car? Like,
Yeah.
it's not for sale.
yeah, but those things are great. I mean, Cadillac, standard of American luxury.
What was the moment that you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Nelly. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Hola.
Doing good, Nelly. Thank you.
All right. So it was I was 16. It was about 5 years ago, and I was working at a pizza place. And at the end, it was my friend's birthday, so he went out. We were a bunch of stoners, so he went out and picked up a bunch of stuff. And we went to this elementary school that's in our neighborhood that we usually go to, do our stuff. Usually we hide, but this time we did it in the front, and we didn't think we'd get caught or anything.
Why did you think you would not get caught standing in front of the elementary school?
I don't know. We were not smart kids. We
All right.
made not very good decisions. Usually we were smarter than that, and we knew where to go because it was a fairly big elementary school. But anyways, about like halfway through what we were doing, we look up and there's a cop, of course. And I remember my friend and I looked like we were going to go up to the cop. And then my friend started running, so I ran with him. And then it was a whole episode of me, like, I almost went out the corner and got caught. And then I ran back into the school. And luckily, my friend shared a backyard. So I waited for this cop not to see us anymore, and we climbed into the backyard. And, that was that. But it was good for so long. Like, I never got caught here before, so it was a shock to me.
Yeah, it's never good when the cops are on you.
Generally,
whatever the situation is. I don't care if they're just pulling you over on the side of the road.
That's one thing I did appreciate about being a teenager, though, is that, if a cop pulls you over, then you're going to pull over or you're going to get in a high-speed chase. Those are basically your options, right? So you're going to pull over and give you a ticket. When you're 16 and cops show up and you know why they're there. You know you're up to no good. It's guaranteed that you run. But
yeah.
As a teen, I cannot think of a time where I actually had to be confronted by a cop. Like, they would show up, you took off running. Yes, I hear you telling us to stop. There was no chance. None at all. I mean, even if my kid said, "Dad, what should I be like?" Run.
There's two things that happen.
It's what you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. When you're on foot, you'll take. If you're in a car, pull your ass over. If you're on foot, it's like you take off running.
Right, but I'm with you. As a teenager, like, we ran from parties all the time. That was just what you did. If they showed up, you ran.
Yeah.
But there's an age difference, because I remember being 11 or 12, and like I don't know, you're playing football in the street or something and goes to some old lady's yard. She calls the cop. That cop shows up. You stand there and go, what's up, officer?
Yeah, for sure.
But you're right. Somehow when you're a teenager and you're doing something you're not supposed to do, that cop shows up. It's like, well, we might as well just run.
Yeah. You haul ass. Tell me, even as an adult, not that I'm running from cops, frankly, because my knees hurt, but just too old to do it, man. Damn it. But I remember walking into a pool hall, and I can see a badge, I can see the gun, and this guy's dressed to the nines, and he's playing pool with two other guys with badges with guns. He looks at me and says, "Are you Steve Hill?" I said, "No," and I turned around to walk away. Then he gets in front of me. He's like, "Hey, man, I know who you are. I'm a fan of the show." I'm like, oh. He's like, I work for the FBI. I'm like, I didn't. I saw your badge. That's why I lied. He goes, you would lie to a federal officer. I'm like, I just did. Yes, yes, I would. I said, man, I did not know you. I did not know what you wanted with me. So when you said my name outright, and you weren't smiling or anything, it just, very authoritarian voice. Are you Steve Hill? Like, nope.
Rule number 1, don't implicate yourself. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah, that's why I turned around. I was going to leave.
And, they're FBI. I have a buddy that works for the State Department, but the first time I met him was at baggage claim at the airport.
All right.
And same thing. You guys have met him. He was in the Marine. He's a serious-looking dude. And he's just like, Ted Smith is like, yeah. And he's like, fan of the show. I'm like, all right, cool.
All right, yeah.
Right, and then we kind of BS'd a little bit, and he's like, yeah, I saw you on the plane. I'm like, all right, but you're right. I mean, it sends a chill down your spine. I can tell you're some type of officer. How do you know my name?
Yeah.
Once, cops freak me out. So I got a buddy. He was a state trooper. I think he still is a state trooper.
All right.
He might have gone into politics. I don't know. But anyway, so I used to give him concert tickets, and if he happened to find any marijuana around, he would bring me said marijuana, and then I would exchange him the concert tickets.
Nothing illegal about that at all.
All right. This goes on a couple of times. Now, one thing you need to know is that the radio station I worked at was on the 3rd floor of a building. In the very back where the parking lot was, not on the main street, but in the back, there was a service door that was always cracked open so we could go out and smoke.
Right.
But the way we had it propped was it didn't have a handle on it.
Okay.
So it was exit only. But I would always leave a stick, or we had a rock down there. There's a smoker's can, all these things. When I go outside and get a cigarette, that's where you go. So that's how he used to come in. Well, I had no idea he was coming in this evening. And I'm working and I'm smoking. We had a bong underneath the console in the FM studio.
Right.
And me and the afternoon guy would smoke up before I went on the air, and then I would smoke all through the night. And then Matt would come in on the overnight, and he would smoke, and he would bring weed. So basically, the entire studio smelled like weed. You just couldn't smoke cigarettes in there.
Right. You get at the bong.
Right. But this is like a Friday night or whatever it was, and I have one pair left of Guns N' Roses, Metallica,
Faith No More
tickets for their show at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. So it was the last opportunity to win. I have it coming up at 9 o'clock.
Hey, that'd be a good show today.
Absolutely, that'd be a good show.
Rick hears this on the radio in his squad car. Now, he has not contacted me yet. He might have tried to call the request line. I don't know. But he is on patrol with a buddy. So what he did was, he said, look, he told his buddy, he's like, look, you're going to go in first, and you're going to go freeze. Before you can even walk in, he's going to come around the corner, I need you to put your hands in the air and get on the ground. And I'm like, oh, my God. And he comes in, and he's drawn. And he's like, I'm like, what? Hands in the air, on the ground? He's like, both. And I'm like, both? So I put my hands up, and then I hear Rick, laughing in the hallway. And he walks in, hey, man, how you doing? I mean, I swear to God, that is the first time I've almost used the bathroom in my pants and not been able to control it. I mean, seriously, I almost used the bathroom in my pants. I was freaked the hell out because these dudes are big. State troopers are big.
Yeah.
Rick was 6 foot. He's a big dude. He used to play football, and the other guy was equally as big. I freaked the hell out. So he walked in. He's like, man, we're just here for that last pair of tickets. I'm like, Jesus God, Rick, I got them. Here, I'll go in the filing cabinet.
Your hand shaking when you give them to him?
So I was shook, and I was stoned. So it was even worse than that. I'm freaking the hell out. You should have seen the bag that they got off of 79. I don't know what car they pulled over, man. He just throws this. It was more weed than I'd ever seen in one bag that I'd ever possessed.
Yeah.
It was easily an ounce of weed. But I had never seen, I couldn't buy that much weed then. I didn't have that much money.
Right.
I'd never seen it, and I was like, oh my God, thank you. So I had
Thank you, officer.
It seemed like I had the weed for maybe a week. Everybody was smoking it.
But I think I've done it to thrill a pain in the grass. My buddy's a King County sheriff. He's a big man. So, like, everybody knows him now when I bring him backstage. But, like, the first couple of years, I was like, just go over to Thrill. Just march over to him.
Smell something.
Right, like, just badge on and everything. But I had a friend of a friend that was a state trooper in Maryland. I used to ask him, I didn't even smoke weed back then, like, about weed. He's like, look, if I show up and you're at a house party and you have it, he's like, I'd be like, turn the music down, smoke more of that. I don't want to have to come back.
Yeah, that's it.
What was a moment that you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Roger. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, how are we doing?
Hola. Doing great, Roger. Thank you.
Yeah, my story is pretty crazy. Years ago, maybe 22 or so, we were going over to the Apple Blossom Festival in Wenatchee, just a huge party for days. Nothing but just a drunk fest. Anyway, me and my buddy are driving back to Spokane on this old windy road. We kind of got lost. He thought he knew a shortcut. But anyway, we're driving, and he's nodding off. And I'm like, come on, man, just pull over. I'll take over. You know, we're going to get in a wreck. And so he pulls over. I take over. Not even 10 minutes later, you know, and I was feeling just great. Alert. Not even 10 minutes later, now I'm nodding off. He's already out. I'm telling myself, next opportunity I can pull off to the right, left, anywhere, I'm doing it. Next thing you know, I woke up and we're flying through the air like the Duke boys.
Oh, no.
It was a 71 Mustang, Mach 1. I went off the right side, which kind of kept going up a hill, thank God, not the left side, which went down like 200 feet. When I wake up, I land, crash into the side of this hill, finally come to a stop alongside the road, and I realize the roof is buckled, can't open the doors. This car is just in bad shape. Get out, and the right front tire, the left rear tire are gone.
Dang.
The wheel's still there, but gone. Ripped the oil pan off the engine and packed it full of dirt. My buddy finally wakes up. He's like, what happened? I said, hey, man, I think a squirrel ran out in front of us and just trying to lighten the mood, but it was bad.
Yeah, that was a really nice car.
But yeah, we were lucky to walk away from that.
What's that car worth now?
Probably $40,000 at least.
Yeah, it was what, like four grand new, $5,000 new?
Probably, yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well, at least you're in a well-constructed car.
That is true, man.
You know?
That's terrifying.
What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
How you doing?
Hola.
Well, my story is I was driving semi, long haul, and I was in Montana going east, and the speed limits in Montana are open.
Yeah.
So I was coming up on this slow driver. I think he was going about 65, 70. So I go to pass him.
Once again, bedroom colors, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
Okay, Mike, so you said, oh, poop.
Oh, crap, yes. Because there's a long curve coming up. And I went to the outside. I had a load of lumber. I went to the outside, back to the right lane, tried to make this curve. I cut the corner, I was going back in the passing lane to make it as short as possible. Well, I was still going too fast. So I look at my mirror as I'm going around this curve still, and I see the wheels coming up off the trailer. They're coming up off the ground.
Here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
He's not going to stop.
Yeah, I just had to drop it.
Yeah. Mother, and please keep those words in mind.
For the record, Montana has speed limits now.
Yes, they do.
Good Lord. I understand OS. How many times? I guess that's his go-to phrase.
Yeah.
OS.
I mean, I believe him. That's what he said.
I believe it. And that's the right thing to say. You just can't say it here, man.
Right. And I know Mike tells people before they get on the air, you just told him, hey, don't say that.
Don't say it, man. Just say, oh, poop. And look, I would assume that most of the stories we hear today, OS, is a thought that went through your mind. right? If you know something bad's going to happen, we know. You don't have to include that part. We know.
Correct.
Yeah, that's all. Tiger jumped over the fence at the zoo. We know what you're thinking. We don't need to hear that. We know. Yeah. OS.
Hey, Miles was telling the story about being a kid in the Boy Scouts in the canoe. When that other canoe's coming down that waterfall over his head, he thought OS.
Right.
He probably even said it.
Well,
when you knew the waterfall was in front of you, you probably said OS.
Right, but we don't say it here.
That's all.
What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Tim. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hola.
So, this is back in the 70s. I'm driving a K5 Blazer, early K5 Chevy with my buddy of mine. We went cruising, a couple of girls, went out to this lookout and partying it up, smoking it up, drinking it up. Decided to go four-wheeling. Well, and it was nighttime, and I ended up driving off like a little drop-off area in my front axle, and front wheels were hanging off the side of the hill, and I was boxed out underneath the drivetrain. So we called another buddy of mine up and had him come up with his truck, and I was hammered, and I said, okay, buckle me in, I'm going down. What they did was they pushed my truck off the side of the hill with me in it, and I make it down the hill fine, but find out I can't get out anywhere because it was a relatively new development, and all it was backyard fences. So I decided, rather than get caught by the cops, I floored it and blew through about 6 backyard fences and tore up everybody's backyard and basically destroyed the paint job on my truck.
And you never got caught?
And I never got caught, except till I got home and my dad woke me up in the morning and said, what the hell did you do?
I drove through a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, drove through a neighborhood.
You're not lying. I was driving in a residential area.
How easy is it to blow through a fence? I guess if it's a wooden fence, you just blast right through it?
I would think you just smash through it, man. And like you said, he gunned it.
What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Garrett. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, bitches.
Hola.
So I was, I was 20 years old at one point, and every 20-year-old gets a fake ID. Because majority of my friends are already, 21 and going to the bars and whatever. So we're going to this one bar, local bar here, and we've been going for all summer now, and I ended up meeting this girl who was a bartender there and was talking to her for a while, and my birthday came around, and so she thought I was 21 too. And we get to the point where it's my real 21st birthday's coming around, and I decided to have it down at that bar where I've already been going for probably half a year now. And one of my buddies, we've been drinking all night, and he goes to leave, and, hey, man, happy 21st. Hope you have a great one. And then right next to me, though, is the bartender who says, basically, OS, let me see your ID. And, yeah, so kind of figured out that I had a fake ID that whole time.
Now, let me ask you this. When you, because I did the same thing. I didn't have a fake ID. I just didn't get carded at this particular bar. I've been going there for a year and a half. Went there on my 21st birthday, and I always remember the bar owner. It's like, oh, happy birthday, man. How old are you turning? I'm like, 21. And just the look on his face, like, are you kidding me? But I'm like, look, you're worried about that, but hey, you're also doing tons of blow in your office upstairs.
It's a,
you know what I mean? Let's not worry about
even.
it. So, but with your fake ID, did the girl that you met, the bartender, did she call you by the name that was on the ID?
No, she called me by my real name. Man, the fake ID wasn't even my fake ID. It was my buddy's who had already turned 21, and he gave me his ID.
Ah, okay.
Oh, so it
wasn't even my name or picture. I don't know how it got by her. I guess she wasn't very smart.
Well, did you continue to date her after this, or not really?
For a little bit.
Okay.
It's not a deal breaker, I would think.
Yeah, when I had fake IDs, I had some terrible ones, but the one that worked was always a guy that looked enough like me that was older.
Yeah, that's the one.
And I got his extra one. And I tell everybody, I've told the story 1,000 times. It worked all the time until December 23rd, like 12 out. It was literally 8 hours before I turned 21. And the guy's like, that's not you. And I was like, here's my real one. It's like in 6 or 8 hours. I'm with my brother. And he's like, nah, sorry, man.
Damn.
That was the only time that ID ever got denied.
Well, I don't think it's one thing to have one in your possession.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the bouncer will just take it.
Sure.
But as far as law enforcement, yes, you can get into trouble. But Joel and myself, we were manufacturing these things.
Right.
We were making them. I'm sure that's a much stiffer penalty.
New Jersey?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pennsylvania.
All right.
Pennsylvania.
Remember, I had one from Delaware. It was Sal-Anon Alto Tapio.
That was your name?
Sal Tapio. Sal Tapio, man. Apartment D.
King of Jersey.
I had it remembered. That ID.
What town did you live in?
Sucked.
I can't remember that. I just remember it's just amazing when you look at Sal-Anon Alto Tapio. And it's just like Sal Tapio.
We need to Google this guy.
Yeah. And it was, right, because same thing. I had a buddy in high school that was making IDs.
Yeah.
God, that thing was awful.
What was the moment that you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house and owning it. Having an advocate who can help you navigate negotiations, timelines, inspections, and more can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
You guys ever accidentally left a cup of coffee on top of your car or anything like that?
Yeah. I've definitely done it with coffee.
I left the phone on my bumper of my back car, get into the back, put my phone down. Fortunately, that car was the Xterra that had that rubber kind of top on it.
Oh, yeah.
I drove to work with my phone on the back of my car and found my phone when I got out.
That's pretty impressive.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I left a tool on the back bumper of my dad's truck, and it's the same thing. It had that kind of ridging that was back there. The thing held on the entire doggone way until you go to the back of the truck. It's like, oh, damn.
We left the kid, our oldest,
on the back bumper.
on top of the car, man.
I just
on top of the car.
Well, you're carrying like that basket thing we did with infants. So we put that on top of the car, and we're loading all this other crap like groceries or something. Get in the car, close the doors, and I'm like, I think our daughter's still up top. Sure enough, like, oop, let me go ahead and grab that and put her in the car. Yeah.
Well, this is not as bad as
left
that.
my phone, left it to left a kid.
Left my child
man,
on top of the car.
How small is your child? She fits on the bumper.
And that's actually a problem for new parents. When my sister was pregnant with my nephew, she was reading all kinds of things about how that's actually an issue where parents, when they go to the grocery store or they go out somewhere, they'll forget the kid in the back, right? But she says, I don't have a problem with that. I can fathom that, it's just force of habit. But then they put in there like, make sure, if you want to help increase your awareness of your kid being back there, put something important back there, like your phone or like your groceries or
something important.
Like maybe your kid.
Your kid does not qualify as important. Put something important with your child so you can remember your child's in the car.
Like your keys. A guy in Australia is in the doghouse after he left his fiance's $2,000 wedding dress on top of their SUV and drove off. This happened on Sunday. They're picking it up at their storage unit. He tossed it on the roof to put it in last so it didn't get crushed by the other boxes. Then he forgot about it and merged onto a major highway. Dress was in a box, so it might be okay. Last we heard, they had not found the box yet. They walked down the side of the highway. It was not there. The bride's name is Lyndall Kane, and her fiancé is Tom. She posted about it on Facebook and said, Tom, quote, stupidly left the package on the roof. They're offering a $500 reward to anybody who turns in the dress. Good news, they are still getting married. She said he's really upset, and she joked it'll at least make for a very good speech at the wedding. Plus, they still have time to replace it if they need to. They're not getting married until next February. But either way, this is not something you want to be held responsible for.
No, like I said, I'd rather deal with the mountain lion.
Oh, no.
Like, honestly, like the mountain lion, I'm going to fight for my life. It's not a situation I want to be in, but when the conflict with the mountain lion is done, it is done. If you lose your wife's wedding dress like this, as long as you are together, this is going to be an issue.
And not only that, but man, it's $2,000. You're getting married. You don't have money yet.
Right.
You've saved up money for a ring and all these things. And then, like in my situation, I didn't get any financial assistance from either one of the parents.
That's how we did it, because it buys influence.
So $2,000. I kept my mouth shut on what things cost because I was taken aback by the price.
Oh, yeah.
I just couldn't.
I was about to go off on the price of that dress, so I quickly Googled average price of a wedding dress. Turns out that's dead average.
No, that is
$2,000, right?
Which,
it's because
mind-boggling.
It's a wedding dress. That's the problem. Like, if you buy flowers and tell the florist that it's for a wedding, somehow they cost more than if it's just because it's my anniversary.
Yeah.
Right? A wedding dress, it's a dress, and you're only going to wear it one time, right? And you.
So all the guy does,
don't say anything.
all the guy does is try to do everything he can in his to make things affordable for him. I am renting a $125 tux. My wedding ring band will be $100 because I know what yours cost.
Right.
We don't need to be spending any more money on rings or dresses or.
Right.
Why don't you buy a tuxedo? No,
I'll
never wear one. And by the time you buy one, guess what? Believe it or not, tuxedos go out of style too,
real quick.
As far as the cut and everything that's fashionable at the time. So that's why $2,000, man. At that point in time in your life is like hell no.
Tuxedos, they do, but at the end of the day, you have the classic black tuxedo.
And
I'm only saying that because I was in so many weddings. I should have just bought one.
You should have.
But the other problem is too is that everybody's wedding's different.
Right, and if you're in the wedding.
Right. So like some people, right, they have to match. They're different colors, right? Yours, we bought suits, which was fine.
You can never go wrong with a black suit.
Well, that was my wife's theory was she goes, look, make the guys get suits. I'm like, well, why can't we just rent? She goes, because I know none of you clowns have suits. So if they get suits for the wedding, then you will have a suit for court dates, whatever the hell else you got to wear for. I'm like, all right. And I wore that damn suit out, man.
What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
I wore it to other weddings I was not in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, that was my wife's whole thing. Like, don't rent a tux. You're not going to wear it. Just get everyone a suit. I'm like, you know as well. Hello, Dell. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gents.
Hola.
Man, this was back in the late 80s. I was 16 years old. My dad was very frugal, and he bought a ex-Minnesota State Patrol car.
All right.
It was a 83 or 84 Crown Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They had the 4 headlights in the front. 2 were high beams, 2 were low beams. My grandma, she pretty much gave the car to me to go, drive around with my buddies and such. And I borrowed it up one night. And one of my friends was pretty good with wiring, figured out that a couple of wires under the dash went to what they called a wig-wag, where the outer lights would flash and the inner lights would flash. The outer lights would flash. So we'd fly down some of these highways in Minnesota, and we'd turn those things on. We'd be doing 80, 90 miles an hour. People would be pulling over from oncoming and in front of us. And we were by Brainerd, Minnesota, and I came flying up behind this one car, and it pulled over just like, everybody was supposed to. And then it got behind us, and it followed us all the way back into the next town. And I had 3 or 4 Crosby, Minnesota Police Department pull us over. I'd pulled a cop over.
Oh, no.
Well,
this was well before cell phones and strobe lights, and he had his radio with him, and he called ahead and told Crosby Police Department that there was a car coming in there that with a bunch of kids in it that pulled him over with wig-wag headlamps.
And what is the punishment for that?
Well, I got to go to jail for the night at 17 years old, 16, 17 years old. And then, of course, they could have thrown anything in the book at me, impersonating an officer or whatever. But the worst thing they did was they called my dad.
Yep.
Yeah. I've never had an ass beaten like that in my entire life.
As basically, close to being an adult too.
Yeah, that was it. It was bad, And then all my buddies, of course, they were stuck on the side of the road somewhere, and the car got impounded, and they had to have the sheriff call or the city police call their parents and tell them to come pick them up. So yeah, I was hated by 3 of my buddies' parents.
Yeah, it's always
Did you lose the car based on that?
No, they just took it for the night. My dad had to bail it out of the tow yard, but he had to pay a lot of money to have all that extra stuff taken off of the car that they didn't. The only thing they used to take out of the cars back then were the radios and the lights on top.
Did you have a spot on the side on the driver's door?
Oh yeah, full size.
Okay.
Full size. Either one of those worked. We didn't plug those in, but he figured out how to plug in the wig-wag lights in the front.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if you remember this, but at that point in time in life, you would get spooked anytime you saw a Crown Vic on the road.
Absolutely.
Because just in your mind, that's a cop. You knew the lights, you knew everything. That was the universal vehicle. So
without a doubt.
I still get kind of spooked when I see him.
Yeah, there was a
because it almost drives.
Even though with the Mercury Grand Marquis or whatever the equivalent
there was a couple of because a lot of people in my family drove Mercuries, right?
Yeah.
Because my mom's cousin, Bobby worked for a Mercury dealership.
Okay.
So we all drove them because you got a cheaper deal. But my cousin John had one that looked like a cop car, and he used to do that all the time, man. If we knew we were behind somebody in our neighborhood, he'd start flashing lights and people would pull over.
Oh, yeah.
What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Dave. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
Okay, so I sold a different story to your dude on the phone there, but as I was waiting, another one occurred to me. Basically, the morning after my 21st birthday, I would come to, and as the haze parts, I'm kind of beginning to understand my environment, and I realize I'm on my parents' couch upstairs in their house. And it's like late morning, and then I realize I'm butt naked, and I'm under a throw blanket, right? Which is never good because it means that somebody else already draped it over me. So I was just splayed out for my entire family to see when they saw me that morning, and they just left me sleeping. But apparently what comes back to me is my mission for my 21st birthday, which was to do 21 and 21.
Of course.
And as I'm hitting 18, I think we were on our third bar. We'd been 86 from 2. We were headed to the 4th. And I'm telling them, like, hey, I'm 3 shots away from hitting 21, like, we're doing this. And my girlfriend's driving the truck. My partner's riding shotgun. I'm in the back, extended cab. And they refused to allow me to continue this mission of having 21 shots on my 21st birthday because they had seen what had developed at these previous bars. And it was just going downhill fast. Well, before they can do anything, they stop at a stoplight, and I slide open the back window in this old 89 Ford, right? It's got that slider window in the rear.
Yeah.
And I slide my narrow behind right through that thing faster than they could even see. And like a blur, I'm bolting down the side of the road to the closest sampan so that I can get a couple of double shots and put a bell on this thing. So I remember walking into the bar. I remember seeing a familiar face. And then I remember ordering the shots. It was JD. It was a double of Tarantula and then a double of 151 to put a cap on it.
God.
And I don't remember anything after that. I don't remember walking out of that bar. The next thing I know, I'm waking up naked on my parents' couch.
Did anyone help you? Did anyone help you fill in the blanks, from your parents to the people at the bar?
So my parents were gone on a vacation with my siblings. I had 3 younger siblings, and they were gone at like Ocean Shores or something, or they were leaving that morning, right? So I'm wandering around, wondering, like, where's my wallet? Where's my pants? Like, these are questions that usually I'm not having to answer in the morning. So as I'm gathering myself and trying to get my mind, my thoughts collected, I wrap the throw around myself and I start doing a walk around the house. Nothing revealed, so I extend the search to the front yard. And lo and behold, in the far corner of the yard, there's my urine-soaked pants. And I'm not curious to worry about how that happened, right? Nobody needs to fill in the blanks on that one. But when I did finally see the scowl on my girlfriend's face a little later that afternoon, she and my buddy filled me in, and essentially my brother had to go down to the bar to get me out of there, and they got me back to my parents' house, and I just started freaking out. Like, I was like growling or like running around the outside of the house, making animal noises, completely blacked out drunk, just unleashed, like no control, no composure. And, just complete embarrassment.
Well, that's,
I mean, it's a 21 run. I mean, look, I can only tell you from my own taste. Like, there's things I did in bars in my early 20s that I regret, and even thinking about them now, I'm like, how did I not get beat up?
Man, I'm right. It's easy even going through that. You start going back to those times, and I'm like, I'm right there with you. Like, either being shot, getting the S beat out of me, or at least getting thrown out of the bar. It did not happen as much as it really should have. I would have thrown me out of if I owned any of the bars I used to go to in my 20s, I would have banned me from coming in.
Because there's some bars you go to, especially I like sports bars, right?
Yeah.
And in tournament time or in the fall when you're watching college football, like a lot of sports bars, it's a wide range of people.
For sure.
So like one day I'm in this bar and it is packed, right? Now these guys are in their early 20s. They've been in there all day, right? Their team, you know what? I'll just say it was Ohio State fans. Their team had clearly played at 9 a.m. They're hammered. And one guy has a dip in, and he's just spitting on the floor.
Oh,
now, you can tell he's blacked out, right? So me and my buddy are getting pretty annoyed because he's kind of close to us. And I knew one of the bartenders, and he was just so cool getting him out of there. And I was like, how are you that cool about it? And he's like, dude, I know you. Because I didn't know you back then, but I know you probably did some stuff just this. And I was like, You know what? You're right. Because it's easier at our age to look back and go, what's wrong? It's like,
what are these kids doing? Like, they're what we did.
Right. The guy has no idea what he's doing.
Here's the one that that people will tell the story of. I don't remember it all the way, but it was one of those. It was a $20 bet.
All right.
So this bet was we had all four of my roommates. We're at a place called DJ's, Dr. John's.
Dr. John's.
College bar?
Dr. John's.
Already at DJ's.
He had this place had buckets of kamikazes with a ladle, and then they give you plastic cups and stuff.
I like it.
It's one of these places.
If you're over 25, you're not welcome here.
Well,
or you're a creep.
Now you got to remember, this is like 1988, 1989-ish. Cocktail is still a very popular movie.
Yeah.
And the people that are behind the bar are learning.
Are they doing all the tricks?
They're doing all their flair. This is all part of the show to impress, the 19-year-old.
It's called DJs.
Because they're also probably 19, 20-year-old bartender, whatever the deal was. But the one dude, man, he had this trick where matches on the bar, you could smoke in the bar and all that stuff. And this was my buddy's Chad's idea. Yeah, he used to, if he saw a woman at the bar who's about to light her match, he would pick up a pack of matches, and within 2 seconds, he'd flick that thing down the bar, and it would light along the way, and it would land right in front of her, and then she'd light her cigarette.
That's a famous scene from Cocktail.
Well, he could do it.
Yeah.
He could do it like snapping his fingers and shooting it down the bar. So Chad goes, this guy's name was Bill, and he says, all right, Bill, here's what we're going to do, man. He said, we're all going to put our penises on the bar, okay? And
that's what we're going to do.
And you flick the matches down the bar, all right? And the person that can keep their penis on the bar without moving or jumping back wins $20.
All right.
So at this moment, though, the woman who owned, and she was a grandmother who owned DJs, like her son was like the general manager who was never there.
Sure.
She walks in with two of her friends. We all have our D's out on the bar. And then the match goes flying. And my buddy Pat jumps back because it's headed his way. Now it's headed to the next. I'm third in line. I basically kept it on the bar, but the matchbook stopped like 2 inches away from my D. And so me and my buddy at the other end split because we both had our penises on the bar. And the woman walked in and tapped us all on the shoulder and said, "You will never drink here again."
Oh, damn.
You will never
Did
drink.
she 86 for good?
You will never drink here again. And that was the bar that we could get. That was our bar that we could get into underage.
All you had to do was not put your penis on the bar.
And
What
look,
time of day was
she
this?
never was there. She was never there.
Okay, what time of day was it?
This was
Was it like
9 o'clock.
nighttime?
9 o'clock in the night.
All right, so I could see where you didn't expect her to walk in.
No, but
I don't think that's a justification. Oh, we didn't think you'd be here.
Look. I didn't even know who she was.
Oh, really?
She said, "You're never coming in this bar again." I'm like, "Who are you?" And Bill goes, "That's the owner." And I was like, well, I thought,
I could relate.
I thought, Doug was the owner. No, that's her son.
It was that quick. She just came in.
Oh yeah, and I went to high school with a bouncer who was 2 or 3 years older than me. Ty, no,
really.
I heard what you guys did. The timing was awful. No, you can never come in this bar again. So anytime, and everybody went there. They had Long Island iced tea nights.
Right.
Every night was a different theme. You could get like 50-cent hot dogs in this place, quarter hot dog night or whatever that. They had 50-cent draft and 50-cent hot dog night. Or whatever.
But you can't go
we
anymore.
ate there. We drank there. That was the spot. No, we were all gone, man. And all our buddies go, "Hey, man, you want to go down to DJ?" And they would all be in DJs, and we'd have to walk by because it was the first row of the bar and the row of bars. And we go down, and so we got to get down to this place that just sucked,
right?
And drink there, the dungeon, for the rest of our underage.
Had to go to the
years.
dungeon,
Had to
huh?
go to the dungeon.
Can't get.
What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803 Rock.
Somebody says, "Not that easy to do." Thrill. What are you talking about? Yelling at the owner of the bar without realizing it's the owner?
I didn't yell though. I just said I didn't know who it was.
Right.
I was just like, "Who are you? Why are you telling me I'm?"
Well, and when you have bars like that, right? Because I worked at it. That's actually they finally tore it down. Town Hall. R.I.P.
Did they tear it down?
They did. I know. They kept that thing for years. I was shocked. But the owner, Ron, he was only there really during the day. But I don't know how to explain it. He had a photographic memory. Like if he decided somebody was kicked out, and because same thing, there was like, you had the locals that would come in earlier, and then you'd have some college kids at night. But there was a couple of them. One guy just pissed him off one day, and I mean, same thing for years. Now imagine you're a 40-year-old adult.
And you still can't go in.
Right. That guy was never allowed back in there. And all his friends drank there.
Oh, damn.
Like, especially on Saturday afternoons in the summer. It's just people that live in the neighborhood. That guy was never allowed in. And, if you were a bartender and you let him in there, Ron would fire you.
Yeah.
But especially bars like that where it's already like a college bar, it's already a little loose. But if they're done with you, they're done.
I'll tell you what. Another thing, as far as West Virginia bars go, there's two things that always exist in the bar, and that is the fact that at 2:00 or at 1:55, they play Country Roads from John Denver, and that means it's time to go home. Every bar has a wall of shame behind the cash register. It is front and center.
Right.
All the names of all the people and the reasons on tabs why they're not allowed to drink there anymore. And written in Sharpie, written in pen.
Right.
It's like, it's the wall of shame. And I mean, a lot of the bars have the same names, same people. Either they didn't pay their tab, they owed money.
I'm sure it's changed, but years ago when I was drinking in West Virginia at that basketball camp. We'd go across the river. When that song came on, too, like, you knew. You either chug it now or the guys can take it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. But, like, they gave you a buffer.
Yeah, they did. It's like 4-minute song. Yeah. What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. So there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Are you ready to take the next step in your career? King County, a leader in government services, is on the lookout for talented individuals to join our team. King County offers an inclusive, welcoming work environment where innovation and creativity thrive. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting your journey, we have positions that could be a perfect fit. Competitive salaries, excellent benefits, and career development are just some of the perks you may receive. Visit our website, kingcounty.gov/careers, and join King County. Thrive where you work.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Who Sucks Last coming up right after emails on our question, what was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Anthony. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
So I got a quick story. I'm going to try my best not to incriminate myself. I got out of the military a couple years ago, and less than a decade ago, I drove my Jaguar underneath a steel fence into one of the motor pools. So the story was I was racing one of my buddies on one of the back roads, and I went underneath the fence because I thought I could drift on some gravel. Can't drift. It was a convertible at the time, scratched up all of the paint, but the kicker was the roof was down. I walked away with just a scratch on my bicep, and the reason why the car had to get totaled was because I didn't put the cover on the actual convertible part.
Huh. That was a tank, dude. That car was long, large. We had a buddy we worked with, TJ in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
He had one of those. He'd take it to the beach all the time and cruise for chicks. And yeah, I mean, the car was a beautiful car, but that thing was a tank.
Yes, it was.
I think it has a lot to do with the car you were driving. Even though if you'd have rolled the car, flipped the car, if you didn't get thrown, that thing's going to land on you.
That's a problem. So what did you tell the military when they asked what happened?
Oh, I threw the top back up. I put my car cover over it and parked it in another barracks parking lot so that they couldn't find the car.
Okay.
So they actually had to put standing guard on the motor pool while I was still there.
And they never figured out it was you.
They never figured out it was me. I told everybody that I got run off the road by a drunk driver.
Okay.
All right.
Man after my own heart.
Damn. What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Connor. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
Yeah, so this was about in 5th or 6th grade. At the time, I was a really good ice hockey player, and I played in a team in Pennsylvania, and we were real good. We went to, Ohio, New Jersey, and we played in tournaments, and we won a lot. And we went to this one tournament in New York, and we won. And the stipulation was the winner got to go to Canada to play the Canadian kids our age. So we're all juiced up, and we're all super excited. And so we go up to Canada, and we're warming up on the ice, and the other team hadn't come out yet. And we're all super excited, like I said, and the other team comes out, and like I said, we're in 5th and 6th grade, and I'm like, are we playing high school this? And we're all like, oh no. And the puck drops, and I don't know if you've seen Talladega Nights, but the scene where Ricky Bobby goes, are those the other drivers? That's how I felt when they started skating around me.
Were they just bigger than you guys, but the same age?
They were the same age. They were bigger, faster. And that was the first game. And we lost and we're good. We lost 9-1.
Damn.
We didn't win a single game.
Oh, you're in Canada playing hockey, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty strong. I mean, at least you got there.
Yeah, it was I imagine when you take a kid who plays soccer in the U.S. and you bring him to Brazil, that's how it felt.
They're going to get smoked.
Yeah,
it's funny you say that because you base everything on high. So my kid right now is playing volleyball, right? He did basketball, he's done soccer, so now they're in volleyball season. And a couple of weeks ago, they're warming up, and just like he said, the other team rolled in, and even his parents were like, are these kids in 6th grade? And if they are actually in 6th grade, did they fail 4 times? I mean, and you get to see all of the kids on my son's team just staring at these guys when they walk in. These guys were massive. Luckily, son's team won that game, but they were already down on their luck.
Right.
As soon as they saw
Yeah,
them.
well,
They just drive guys. You're not playing football.
Same with
you're
football.
playing volleyball.
Even when you warm up, there are certain teams that are huge. You know they've got 4 D1 guys because that's all you read in the newspaper. These guys, he's going to Florida State, he's going here, whatever.
Of course.
But it's another thing to look across the field and go, oh, man, they got 6'2" linebackers.
Right.
That guy's 185.
I remember playing Little League, Babe Ruth ball.
Yeah.
We played Bowie, and they had a kid on their team that was just a monster. We did the same thing. I think our coach might have even been like, hey, is that kid, 12 or 13? Yeah. And then a year later, I get to the Matha, and I see that guy in the hallway, and I'm like, there he is. He ends up playing football at Alabama.
Oh,
but
man.
just at our age, he's still a massive dude, but you're at that age, we beat the team, but he hit a ball farther than we had ever seen.
Right.
And it just, some kids are just massive.
Just big dudes.
What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Brock. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Yeah, 1 second, sorry.
Oh, no worries. We got time.
I'd rather. There we go, that's better. Are you there?
Yep, we're here.
Yeah, we're just waiting for you.
Okay, sorry about that. So, I've talked to you guys before. I learned to make money at a young age off of B12. So this is an 88. I'm going to college. The summer's over. In my room, I have a bunch of empty seals of paper. Didn't want to throw them in the garbage can so my parents would find them. So I throw it in my pocket of my jacket, and so I kind of forget they're there. So I go off to college. My parents, they give me tuition money, and I have 2 weeks to pay the tuition, so I turn that into an ounce and get some B12 and going to make some extra money. So this is the first night we're back. School hasn't even started yet. I'd been partying all night long. Get in a fight with my girlfriend, and her roommate calls the campus police, and they show up, and they asked me to leave. And so we go outside, and they're chatting with me, and they want to see my ID. And so I go to get my ID out, and when I get into my jacket, all those pieces of paper fall on the ground right in front of them.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh no. Well, there's a bunch of small ones, and then there's one big one. And usually you lick them all, so I was thinking, okay, I'm going to be okay. There's nothing going to be on it. And they open them up, and I don't see anything. And, they're doing it right in front of their headlamp. And then, sure enough, the big one, they open it up, and I see little flicks in the air. And I went, oh, no. So, yeah.
You get arrested?
Yeah, they take me down to the campus police, and I'm sure at that point I'm not sure what's going to happen yet. So I actually have a little film vial, and with 3/4 of it in there, in my pocket. Well, it's down in my crotch at this point. And they take me into there, and then they come back and they tell me after like an hour that they tested it and it came back for traces of cocaine, and I'm going to county jail. And I got arrested.
How long did you stay in there?
So I ended up hiding the stuff that was with me, on me, in the campus police station, and leave it there. And because I think when I get to county, they're going to search me and stuff. And sure enough, it's Friday night. They get me to county. They don't search me. I'm there till Monday. Saturday, I have my mom come and talk through me, through a glass window with me in an orange suit, crying. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Did you finish school?
So I get kicked out of school, and so I had all that stuff still back in my room. It was like my tuition money. I tell my girlfriend, please go get that out of my room. I'm afraid they're going to search my room. So she does that, and then I talked to her another day, and I said, well, I need to get that from, she goes, oh, I flushed that. And she's like, what? That was my tuition money.
Hey, am I missing something? Is B12 code for something else?
It's white powder that you cut it with.
Oh, so you're cutting it with B12.
You're cutting
B12. Yeah, so I would get a bunch, and then I'd double it up, and then make,
All right, sorry, I was just lost there for a minute.
Okay.
I was like, well, B12 is just a vitamin.
Yeah, exactly. Because most people use baby powder, all that kind of
aspirin.
Yeah.
What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
You can always tell when it's aspirin, am I right?
My headache goes away.
You can taste it.
Yeah, you kind of can. That's what I've heard. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Okay, so this was back in 2020 when we had all the fires and all the smoke, right?
Yeah.
So me and my girlfriend, we're in our room, and it's getting kind of hot and heavy when all of a sudden I start hearing pops and bangs from outside, and I'm like, what is that? And then I'm smelling something different from the normal average smoke that we've been smelling that entire year. So I'm like, this is odd. And, so I'm trying to get up to leave and go check out what this sound is. My girlfriend, of course, she's like, no, you finished what you started, right? So I end up like, no, babe, I really got to check this out. And so I run outside, and I see a bunch of smoke coming up from behind our trailer, and I step back there, and there is a 6-foot blaze of just flames going in all this trash that was behind this trailer.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so immediately I run back into the house, and I'm like, do we have a fire extinguisher or anything? And, they're like, no, we don't. And I'm like, we should probably have one because there's a fire outside. So my girlfriend also just recently got out of surgery. She's not even supposed to be lifting anything. She's running out there trying to grab buckets of water, and I'm like, no, you can't be doing that. So she's filling up the buckets as me and my buddy are running back and forth trying to put this fire out. Of course, we called 911 and all the fires at that time. The emergency services weren't quick to respond because they were responding to other fires and whatnot.
Right.
And, it was just a crazy event. We had a bunch of our neighbors come out, start looking around. Finally, the fire department came, but we already basically had it out. They just saturated it to make sure that it didn't start back up again.
Well, at least the trailer didn't burn down.
How long did it take you guys to put out the fire?
Probably in the neighborhood of 15, 20 minutes. It was quite a substantial fire, and there was like paint cans in there and a bunch of other stuff, and that's what I was hearing pop was the paint cans from the pressure.
Do you guys have any idea what ignited the fire?
Actually, yes. The fire department kind of did a small investigation, and it was an empty picture frame bouncing off of a mirror into the center of all this trash caused the ignition source for the fire.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look. I told you guys, man, I had just a plastic regular toothbrush.
Right.
Wife at the time had a makeup mirror. We had a skylight in the bathroom of the home. And the way that light hit that mirror went right across to the other sink and basically kind of put a brown melty stain on the side of my sink that I could never get out. It was actively trying to catch my toothbrush on fire.
Did you upgrade the toothbrush or move it?
And I realized at that time, like that makeup mirror, the way it's just the way it's angled or whatever the deal is, it just forms a straight shot like a laser, man. And I was like, dude, I don't feel safe having that thing in the bathroom.
It's a makeup mirror.
I'm serious. Like it's crazy. What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jim. Welcome to the men's room.
This is Big Jim. Hola.
Hola.
So many years ago, having fake ID, there was a tavern in Tacoma that was accepting all these little fake IDs that many of us had. And we're having a libation this one particular evening. And into the front door comes 4 or 5 cops. And we're like, uh-oh. And we knew there was a back door out to the alley. And so we said, let's go out. And then we turned that way, and there's another 4 or 5 more cops. So we're like, this isn't good. So one thing led to another. They started taking us out in groupfuls, throwing us in cars, throwing us into paddy wagons. At the end of the bus, there was 52 of us.
52.
52 minors got arrested that particular night. And
just from that one bar?
From that one bar, because they started taking anybody that had a driver license that said adult on it. As long as it said adult, you were in.
I mean, if you're sending cops in a paddy wagon, like everybody knows,
right?
That's an underage bar.
Yeah. We're going downtown. So then, to kind of top this all off, we had a court date with all of us. And one, everybody's there with their parents and all that. And this one guy, the little swinging gate when they call you up to talk to the judge between where you sit. Well, he kicks it with his foot and then steps through real quick, and it goes, wong, 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 wong. And the whole place goes, oh! And the judge hit the gavel a few times and said, any more outbursts like that, then everybody in this court is guilty.
Damn.
We had no more to say.
Yeah, I bet you didn't.
So what ended up happening to you?
Well, we all got warnings and all that good stuff, but you had to spend many hours, waiting to get bailed out, and that just took forever. Then, of course, everybody's parents know that everybody's kids were in all this trouble, and so not really bad, but yeah. It was,
bad enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing you want to go through. What was the moment you knew this is not good? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Audra. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hola.
Hey, so this actually happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I went to Atlanta to visit some friends and family, had a rental car while I was there, and when it came time to fly home, I drove an hour and a half from my cousin's house, down to the airport, and about halfway there, I stopped at a gas station. This is at about 4 in the morning, trying to catch my flight. I stop at a gas station to refill the car so I don't get a fee. And, I drive a 2002 Toyota, so there's no bells or whistles or automatic anything really in there. And I was driving a 2015 Chevy. So I pull into the gas station, I leave the key in the ignition, and I look and make sure that the door is unlocked. I get out, go to fill up my car, shut the door, come back to get back in, and the door's locked. And I'm in the middle of a town. I have no idea where I'm at. I'm the only person at this gas station. And I'm like, what am I going to do? My flight's in like 2.5 hours, so I'm stressing about that. And luckily for me, I'd noticed that there was a truck driver who had just delivered the gas, and he was still sitting in his truck right behind me. So I ran up, and I'm trying to see if he can call a locksmith or anything for me. He ended up calling a couple locksmiths. He ended up having to go, because he's on a schedule.
Right.
And so I was like, well, if they call you back, because they both, said that they had to call out and find people, and they would call them back. And I was like, please, if they call you back while you're on the road, just tell them I'm still here, because I have nowhere else to call. My phone was locked in the car, my wallet, my jacket. And it's 43 degrees. I'm in a T-shirt just kind of pacing this gas station. Damn. So I ended up being out there for 2.5 hours before I saw some guys across the street at a Burger King unloading supplies. Went over there and I was just like, I'm so sorry. Can you please help me? Just call these locksmiths, see if they're still coming. They call them. It turns out they had tried to call the guy back. He didn't answer, so they didn't send anyone. So they go inside the Burger King. They come out with a Slim Jim, and they're like, all right, let's see if we can break into this for you, which is great. The second guy that was there ended up being able to do it. So, I'm all happy. I get in the car. By this point, it's 7, which was when my flight was supposed to leave, and I'm still an hour from the airport. So long story short, I get the rental extended. I'm go back to my cousin's house. I can't get on another flight until 5 p.m. that night. The worst thing, too, is I had decided to splurge and buy myself a first-class ticket.
So you ate that.
Missed out on that. The only seat that they had left that day was a middle seat in the very last row of the plane. And then on that flight, I finally get there. I'm on the flight. The guy next to me is, going into the bathroom, obviously doing drugs for, the whole flight.
Oh, God.
That was kind of weird. And then I landed in SeaTac. We landed in the N terminal, which is that satellite terminal.
Yeah, I hate that one.
It's terrible.
Yeah, me too.
Baggage. Yeah. And I'm waiting for the train. The train pulls up, to take you to baggage. And half the doors on the train don't open. And the people inside
I read about this. Apparently, the whole SeaTac was just kind of shut down on those gates for hours, right?
Oh, it was insane. It took me 3.5 hours.
Oh, my God.
To get out of the airport?
To get out of the gate.
Out of the airport.
To get out of the end gate.
Oh, my God.
They could not get the train, and there's no way back. That's it.
No. And it was insane. I mean, I've never seen an airport terminal that packed because, it's people still landing. It's people trying to catch other connecting flights, get their baggage. People just kept piling up. And, of course, there's, no communication. We don't know where we're supposed to be going. We're all kind of waiting, and, this crowd just never moves.
Audra,
So
I'm angry for you.
Yeah, Audra, where did you fly? Where did you fly from?
From Atlanta.
You have a long-ass 6-hour flight.
Oh, my God.
You're sitting in the middle seat in the back next to a druggie because you locked your damn keys, and, the car locked itself with your keys inside. And then you can't.
Right.
You finally land. I got to think you're like, thank God. I'm in the home stretch. I just want to go home and forget this day. And it's like, well, hey, not yet.
Mm-hmm. And I've been up since 3 a.m. Eastern.
What do you speculate this guy's doing? Cocaine in the bathroom? Was that how he's acting?
I don't know what he was doing. I'm not too familiar with, the effects of drugs. I just smoked pot and drank booze. That's about it. So, he seemed very mild-mannered when he got in. And then every time he would go to the bathroom, he'd come back and just be, super agitated and, moving really quickly. Seem really frustrated and then just, really restless. And then he would kind of calm down, go in the bathroom, and then come back out all popped up again. So,
okay. Could be a couple things.
Well, real quick before you go, why were you in Atlanta?
Family.
Yeah, family and friends. So I was actually going to help out my great aunt. Her husband had just passed away a few months before, so.
Good God.
No good deed goes unpunished, right?
I mean, I've had some bad flights and trips. That sounds worse.
I read that story when it came out, and I thought, that is a nightmare.
It is. I mean, it already sucks when you land in the end gate.
It's even hard enough to get a bar seat on the one bar that they have in the end gate. And all the restaurants are packed. There's really just nothing for you to...
No, you got to stand there and wait.
Who Sucks Less is on the way, and we'll get your emails coming up next from the men's room at KISW.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
from executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Top Class Actions alert. In a groundbreaking move for the payment industry, Visa and MasterCard have come to a historic $5.6 billion settlement. Top Class Actions is connecting business owners who accepted Visa or MasterCard from January 1st, 2004 to January 25th, 2019 to their share of this $5.6 billion settlement. Claim your share today at topclassactions.com/Visa. That's topclassactions.com/Visa.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Who Sucks Last on the way, but first time for a few emails from the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
And one from today on Not Good. Guys, I am a private pilot, and during one of my training flights back in 2014, my instructor had me fly in a 1972-built Beechcraft Queen Air. Doing general pattern work as well as touch and goes, no issues. Then he had me fly up to 7,000 feet to practice some cruising without autopilot. All seemed well, until I felt a jolt and a shudder through the aircraft. I quickly realized I'm running out of fuel. And I literally thought to myself, oh man, this is not good. I miscalculated how much fuel was in the aircraft. Both of my engines stopped running, and I was now gliding. Keep in mind, I was flying solo. Long story short, I did manage to glide back down safely at another grass airfield using my visual flight rules skills as well as help from my instructor on ATC. Fun times. That from Alex.
No, thank you.
Yes. As we move on to the birthdays, guys, Wyatt is 20 today. Had I not dropped him on his head when he was a baby, he'd probably be in college. But we're dang proud of him. How about some green beans and a bong rip? That from his stoner dad.
Green bean, green bean, green bean, green bean.
Guys, I want to wish a happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Serena. She is everything to me, and I love double teaming family life with her. Oh, and she and I just finished playing the video game Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah. In it, you play as a cowboy, and spoiler alert, at the end, your horse dies. Serena has been devastated by this. So could you all please try to cheer her up by talking all over yourselves about how outstanding a horse Goliath was. Also, please, a burp fart. Thanks, guys. That from Dave. I don't know anything about
I mean, I'm sure Goliath is
Down below, if you name the horse Goliath, you got to be able to horse, which means you can actually ride it and will watch it.
Otherwise, it would not be happening to him.
Guys, today I celebrate my 39th Circuit of the Sun. I would love to hear you guys talking over each other about the benefits of nerds like me in the world. Topped off with some Bruce Willis and a roof that don't leak. Thanks for the laughs, guys. That from Reenie the Rebel. Benefits of being a nerd now, she can get laid.
Younger now, they're making movies and stuff like that. Plus, also, it's like you got to take out at the bar if I have to prove my manhood or something.
Jolas, today's my wife Allison's 47th trip around the sun. We love her very much. And would love to have maybe some dad jokes from Miles. And the men's room talking all over each other regarding peanut butter sandwiches. All the best, guys. That from Larry, Tag, and Bear. All right, a couple of dad jokes for Allison. Hot off the presses. A mime in my town was arrested yesterday after he broke his left arm in a bar fight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But he still has a right to remain silent.
Oh, see, I knew that one.
A cop asked me...
It's a mime. He can't talk.
Yeah. A cop asked me, how high are you? I said, no, officer, it's hi. How are you? Why should you be afraid of the tip of a penis?
Why should you be afraid of the tip of a penis?
I grew up in the hood. I'll give you a couple more, Al.
All right. I kind of like that one.
Guys, I can walk up 10 flights of stairs, no problem.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
But 11, that's another story. What did the gynecologist put on his bagel?
Oh, boy. What did
a schmear?
Pap schmear.
Got to respect the schmear.
By the way, Ted, my wife used to break out into hives after having sex.
Why?
Found out she had a nut allergy. And to the lady at Costco with her son on a leash, I am sorry that I asked if he was a rescue. All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, I've been hot off the presses. New locations. Serving Men's Room IPA for Black Raven Brewery. Guys, I'll give a shout out to TJ from Stimpy Sports Bar and Grill for going to Northwest Beverages to open an account today just to be able to bring in.
Oh, wow,
brand
man.
new Men's Room IPA.
Nice.
We appreciate that. Also available at the 884 Pub, as we've been telling you for a long time, over in Bremerton.
I got word from her today, Suzanne, who runs the joint, that she has never gone through that many kegs that quickly of a beer.
Smarty Pants Garage, that's a good thing. Zeke's Pizza, Belltown, and in Bellevue. Forum in Tacoma. Finnegan's Pub.
Forum is awesome.
Is it good?
I had one of my the podcast get-togethers there. Great food, good bar, awesome spot.
Duval Tavern, a place called Betty, the Fisherman's Restaurant, Salty Girls in Squim, the Cut Shop in Woodinville, Jackson Golf Course.
All right.
Absolutely. That's a good one. And they have the best chicken cheesesteak in town. Black Star Pub
Is that the one
Grill.
you took my kid to?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. No cheesesteak, though, because you got to get home for dinner.
You going to buy him a beer next time?
Random question. If I'm not playing golf, could I just roll in there and get the cheesesteak?
And there's a driving range. And there's putt-putt. And there's a par 3.
I mean, it's not that far from me. I drive by it every day.
That's what I mean. Like, walk there, yeah.
Thank you, by the way, listeners, for sending your locations that you found to the men's room at KISW.com, including the picture. That's very cool. A few of those, gentlemen, they just delivered another stack of Black Raven Brewery's men's room IPA to the Longhouse Market and Deli in Squim.
Nice.
First stack sold out fast. Grab me two this time. Now I can drink the Men's Room IPA and listen to the Men's Room podcast on Odyssey at the same time. Great show, guys. That from Paste Eater Dano.
Paste Eater.
Carlsberg, Washington. Facebook post from my local Edmonds Ace Hardware. How cool is that? I'm going to read you what these guys...
Hardware.
Look, this place apparently is amazing. They have sandwiches. They have hot sandwiches. They have fresh produce.
Ace Hardware.
The Ace Hardware. It's called Edmonds Hero Ace Hardware and Grocer.
All right.
So if you're a construction worker, you can go to their sandwiches. They have produce. They have salads and everything else.
That's like the one Mike and I were talking about up north. Is it Arlington Hardware? Like when I go up to hang out with Taryn and Brant, everybody wears their. It's like, oh, you got to go there.
But put this. They put this on Facebook, and we appreciate it. It says our hardware store is the perfect spot for the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven. Do you know the backstory? This is a collaboration between the Men's Room program on the air for 2 decades and the Black Raven Brewery. It's delicious and perfect for spring. Our friends age 21 plus should definitely check this out. Thanks for the nice post, guys.
That is really cool.
We appreciate it. I got word from one of my previous wives that it's a wonderful store, and not only that, but one of the guys in there is a massive fan.
Oh, all right.
So
right
I'm
on, man.
sure he had some a hand in that one. So thank you, brother. Just got some of your Men's Room IPA at Runlands in Enumclaw. Mike, Runlands, are you familiar with Runlands?
Very familiar with Runlands. All my friends used to go there, man.
Is that a bar? Is that a grocery?
No, it's a little convenience store.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, but it kind of looks like an old barn.
Yeah.
Guys,
Enumclaw. I mean,
after a couple weeks looking, I found the new Black Raven Men's Room IPA at the Tacoma Mall Total Wine. Gotta say, I had high expectations, and it exceeded them.
Oh, wow.
It's one of the better IPAs I've had it. And also, I find myself randomly saying, guess who it is, Ted? James. All the time. So thanks for that. That's from Dylan from the Aroma of Tacoma.
I'm glad that's a legacy we can leave behind.
Yeah.
Guess who it is, Ted?
All the time. Men's Room IPA finally founded at the East Gate Safeway location. I'll give you a couple more here. Men's Room IPA, they have it at the Safeway on 38th and M Street in Tacoma. Another one, I snagged the last 6-pack of Men's Room IPA from the Midnight Mart in Magnolia.
Only open at midnight.
On Saturday night.
Keep those tiptoe in there with the mask on.
Yeah, keep those locations coming, man. We appreciate it. Eco Gas, Arlington, the Ording Food Mart, Ravensdale Market, Safeway Grocer, Tremont Market, Friendly Normandy Market, 47th Avenue Market and Gas.
From Federal Way, someone just says, hey, man, any beer in Federal Way? I'm sure there is. I just not know off the top of my head where it would be.
Federal Way. I'll keep looking for you. What else do we have? The PC Deli Mart, ABC Grocer, Dwayne's Liquor Market, the Valley Food Mart, Huntington's Corner Grocer, the Gravely Lake 76 Station, Safeway in Stillicum and in Stanwood, Shelton Smoke and Beer, the Town Market, Total Wine in Linwood, a few more, the River Edge Market, the Sea Mart, and the Mount View Chevron. Those are just some of the locations. We're getting them up as fast as we can if you go to KISW.com and check out some of the locations that we have there for you. But thank you so much. If you see it, please shoot us an email to mensroom@KISW.com and include a pic so we can send that along and put it up on our social media accounts.
And I can tell you that the fellas and the ladies at Black Raven, thank you for buying the beer. They do. It is selling really well, man, and they're doing everything they can to keep up. Every day, we're getting another update from Castle Lake, man. They sent out 800 more cases. This is going on. So the demand has been there. So far, the response we've gotten, everyone likes it.
Yep.
Even my wife, who does not like IPAs, is like, this is a good beer.
It is a crisp, easy drinking IPA. You can drink a few of these, and as they told us when we got there, not fall off your bar stool.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not one of those IPAs that's going to ruin your palate, ruin the taste of your dinner,
right.
Put that film and that crap in your mouth, and just makes you go... This is a delicious beer.
It really is.
People really do appreciate it. So if you could help our friends at the Fisher House by picking some up.
It tastes like a beer, not just like hops.
You know, you're right. That's exactly it. This beer tastes like beer. Tastes like beer should.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Some beers I'm just like, what are they doing? Not this one. Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Speaking of, coming up, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day, but first.
Now, the Men's Room wants to know who sucks last?
right, time for Who Sucks Last. Steve Thrill Hill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck, but it's up to us to determine out of the 3 stories which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to follow KISW on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Last.
Yes, indeed. And let's just get started. We will start, California, where a man by the name of Samuel Pasillas, he's a pastor there. Well, he was recently arrested for paying for a man to kill his daughter's boyfriend. True man of God here. Riverside police arrested Samuel after gathering enough evidence that he ordered the attempted murder of the man dating his own daughter. Now, the hit took place in October of last year. The victim was sitting in his car when he was shot multiple times from a vehicle that pulled alongside his. Then the shooters quickly drove away, but the victim survived, drove himself to a nearby hospital. Now, he could not provide investigators with too much information about his would-be killers, but 5 months later, police concluded that the incident was a murder-for-hire shooting orchestrated by his girlfriend's father. Once again, that would be Pastor Pasillas. He paid them almost $40,000. Now, police arrested him and one of the alleged hitmen, a 55-year-old guy, but they're still looking for the third suspect. Anyway, both the father and the one would-be hitman, they pleaded not guilty during a joint arraignment at the Riverside Hall of Justice, but they're being held for $1 million bail because no one believes them. Anyway, sources from the Riverside Police Department, they told reporters that the pastor had met with the 2 gunmen, paid them $40,000, and provided information on the victim's whereabouts the nights of the shooting. As for the reason for wanting the man dead, he didn't approve of his daughter dating him. And since he couldn't convince his daughter to break up with him, he decided to hire hitmen. That's fatherly love. Yeah. Now we have a story of just straight-up humiliation. Angel Harding and her friend, they say they were removed from an Air New Zealand flight shortly before takeoff at the Auckland airport because of their size. 2 women say they were left traumatized after they were removed from the flight just before it took off. Angel Harding says she and a friend, they were offloaded from the Air New Zealand flight, which was turned around and taken back to the terminal as it was taxiing toward the runway. Now, the passengers, they had complained about the treatment from a flight attendant after boarding the flight. She explained that she was looking out the window as the plane trundled along when she felt a sudden pain in her arm. She turned to see the flight attendant pushing the armrest down, which dug into her limb. And the flight crew member loudly told her that the plane could not take off until all armrests are down. Typical thing. But according to Angel, it was quite aggressive. Now, after Angel's friend suggested that the flight attendant should sit down while the plane was moving, the crew member reportedly said, quote, "I can get you both kicked off this flight." Now, she said the flight attendant then returned to the front of the aircraft, spoke into a phone before the plane started to turn around. Then the flight attendant made an announcement that all passengers would need to exit the plane due to, quote, "an inconvenience." The flight attendant returned to the 2 women and told them, quote, "You 2 should have booked 4 seats. You should have bought 2 seats each." They were then told that they'd have to purchase 2 seats each way when they book a flight with Air New Zealand in the future. The 2 women, who were assisted with wheelchairs due to medical conditions, got off the jet with the rest of the passengers. A different Air New Zealand worker then took them to the side and told them they would have to rebook and get 2 tickets each. Eventually, that is what they did because they had no choice because they wanted to return home. But essentially, big chicks booted them off the flight. And now for our final story. This in a high-profile divorce case that sparked heated debates in China, a man divorced his wife of 16 years after learning that none of the 3 children she birthed during their marriage were his. None of them.
Oh, man.
So in December 2007, this guy, Chen something, he married a woman named Yu. Now, soon after meeting her for the first time, seemed like simple, down-to-earth woman. His parents had long been pressuring him to settle down, so he never really took time to get to know her. But soon after tying the knot, Yu informed Chen that she was pregnant. And he was so overwhelmed by the news that he was going to be a father, he never realized his wife would have had to have been already pregnant when they met to have a child when she did. So he's not doing the math on this, all right? Anyway, she gave birth to the couple's first daughter, and her husband became a long-distance truck driver who was away most of the year, only coming home for short periods of time. Well, the years passed. Yu gave birth to another daughter, which Chen assumed was his. But he started suspecting his wife's infidelity in 2019 when she informed him that she was pregnant once again. Because this time, Chen knew that he hadn't been home when the baby had been conceived, so he confronted his wife about it, but she insisted that he got his math wrong and that the baby is in fact his, so he just accepted her version and welcomed his third daughter. It was in November of 2022 that he finally became convinced that his wife had not been faithful. He learned that she'd been having an affair with a man named Wu, and so it's Yu and Wu, and had given birth to her fourth daughter, at a hospital. But instead of confronting his wife, he got a lawyer, went to the hospital to investigate, and he learned that she did indeed give birth to a girl there that month. But the release form featured his name as the father, as well as a forged signature. So now he's convinced his previous suspicions that her infidelity had been correct. He finally filed for divorce, ordered a paternity test for each of his children, and the result was shocking. Not one of the 3 daughters that he had raised as his own had been conceived with him. So he took his wife to court, asked for paternity of the children anyway, but also compensation for emotional distress. Believe it or not, he got custody of the 2 older daughters.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he raised them.
Yeah, I mean, that was that point. He's like, I'm ready. So those are your stories. We had the pastor in California hired a hitman to whack his daughter's boyfriend. We have the Air New Zealand flight attendant who booted 2 obese women off the plane and also told them you need to buy 2 tickets per person next time. And finally, the man who's divorcing his wife because none of his 3 kids are actually his.
Well, the women on the plane, was anybody complaining? Like, were they in their own row?
They were in their own row. No one was complaining. The flight attendant, I did not like them for whatever reason. The flight attendant didn't like them, but they weren't there causing problems or anything. I think she seemed to just not like their size and wanted to humiliate them. That's the sense I get, but I don't know.
Yeah, that just seems odd. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can fathom maybe if somebody was complaining, but like, they're already on the plane. You're sitting there like
you were about to take off.
Yeah, and it seems odd that the person who sold him the tickets or checked him in never said, sorry, we have a rule. Because I've seen a flight attendant give somebody a seatbelt extender.
Yep, I've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think the guy in China sucks the least because he didn't know.
Well, it's more about his wife. Not Yeah, not him.
All right, I was like, this is pretty easy.
Yeah.
He seems a good dude. Yeah, that's tough then. I mean, I guess that woman's awful. The pastor trying to kill somebody. I mean, I guess the crappy flight attendant sucks the least.
Yeah, I mean, they got
in
on
this
different
scenario.
flights.
Yeah,
all the things.
Did they end up? Did they have to pay for 2 more seats?
They did. Yeah.
So I mean,
they eventually got there.
They eventually got where they're going, but yeah, they had to buy 2 tickets per person.
Well, hopefully they sue. So I'm going to say that one sucks the least, and hopefully they get some money out of the deal.
Yeah, but it just depends on the laws in New Zealand.
Right, and that's a crappy situation
and
to be in.
how do they make that rule?
I don't.
I mean, you can't just, you could weigh people, but some people are taller and like hold their weight different.
They were also both in a wheelchair.
Right.
So they're both also handicapped.
I just feel like that's a tough call to make. You know what I mean?
It really is. Yeah. It is. Well, not in New Zealand, apparently.
Debate continues on Who Sucks Less if you follow KISW on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Shot the dates coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up minutes, we'll drink a toast for the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check out with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is
not working on.
Thank you, Miles. The wiener dog may be getting banned in Germany.
Okay, I saw the headline. Why? What is the reasoning?
You know what, Steve? I also saw the headline.
Hey, okay.
Mike, when we were there, that was the dog we saw the most of in downtown Munich.
Are you serious?
And I thought to myself, why did... Oh, the Dachshund.
Right, it is the dog. Yeah, it's the Dachshund.
German dog.
I mean, it's a German dog, but that's why it's weird that they, usually it's like pit bulls they go after or something like that.
Right.
This isn't like some aggression thing. It's something like something about their skeletal something. I don't completely understand.
They are badasses. Like,
they are.
They'll go in and pull a mink out of a hole.
Yeah.
I mean, they're ferocious.
But again, that's not why they want to do it.
They were tunneling attack dogs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And there was that lady that had, she was descended on by a whole troop of them.
What happened to this lady?
Don't you remember?
No.
We used it for a big dummy poll one time, is that this woman, I forget why. I don't know if something went off and they attacked this woman, but this woman was absolutely descended upon by a handful of wiener dogs. I don't think they killed her. I think they put her in the hospital.
Jesus.
It was bad. It was a bad, dude.
Okay.
They can be vicious. Now, for the most part, they're skittish, scared little, happy little beings, but...
They're kind of like squirrels.
Yeah.
Always seem unsure of anything happening around them.
Right. Everything's bigger than me.
What was the quote, Ted? Why do squirrels act like it's their first day being a squirrel?
Right.
I'm trying to look this up.
Oh, why they're not banning them?
No, this woman, she got mauled and killed in Oklahoma.
She was killed.
Back in 2018.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Were they her dogs?
Oh, man, I'm trying to read through it.
When else are you going to go through, have just a litter?
They were Dachshund Terrier mixes. The other was a Border Collie mix.
Okay.
Yeah, and Border Collies are psychos, too.
They are psychos.
I am interested, though, why Germany's banning,
Right.
It's obviously a German dog.
You going to make me follow up on this one, Ted?
Please do, Mike.
I mean, in my defense...
We could look it up, but you're
Thrill ass first.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Throw me under the bus for being inquisitive.
Yeah. All right. All righty, I'm looking it up. We will have that answer for you at 5:50.
We should look that up.
Look that up. It's that time of the year when, I'm going to screw this up, tussock moth caterpillars are taking over Florida.
What do we recognize what they look
They're
like?
just really, really big caterpillars that are starting to fall off the trees, and they're just now coming to life, and they're starting to spread everywhere.
Like the orange and brown fuzzy ones, or are they the kind of colorful ones? I remember my buddy.
You just make me look everything up.
I am. Went to my buddy's house. I'm only 10 years old, and he couldn't come outside yet, but his mom's like, if you wait 10 minutes, he'll be out. No problem. They had a tree in their backyard. Oh, those.
So, look, those are bad, Mike, but when the cicadas come out...
Oh, yeah.
They ain't going to worry about it.
You won't believe the pictures you see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, I've seen the pictures.
They're almost there.
You get all over the
But this is the double brood year.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's going to be billions upon billions of these loud, stupid, but completely harmless insects.
Have the Midwest check for tinnitus. It's going to be bad. That's the screaming that's just going to be nonstop over there, dude.
That's all it is. Basically, just sounds like this 24 hours a day.
Right.
I think I'd take that over the garbage trucks that just run in reverse in my neighborhood.
I was about to say, does it almost just become white noise so that you
No.
No, really?
It's just too loud and it's too screechy. You know, you can tune out the noise of even we lived over train tracks. You kind of tune it out because the sound's always the same and it's just a rumble.
Sure.
I live close to I-5. You tune it out because that's definitively white noise, right?
Sure.
The cicadas, man, it's like someone is standing outside of your window screaming.
Garbage truck would make less noise if it beeped going forward.
I know.
Always going backward.
Officials are urging people to attempt to free themselves if they're ever trapped in a submerged car.
Why do you have to explain this to people?
And not film themselves.
Again, the people that are willing to film themselves in a submerged vehicle, don't let them in on the secret that survival is important. I promise you they contribute nothing to society.
I'm just going to throw this out there. I got a bad, morbid feeling that somebody came upon a car that was submerged in water and they had a phone in their hand and they didn't make any kind of attempt to get out.
That's probably why they brought it up.
Right.
I mean, normally when people are in a situation where they think they might die, you kind of instinctively do things to save yourself.
Right. Do it for the TikTok.
Hey, dude, get your phone, man. Hey, we're about to die.
Yeah.
You're in a submerged vehicle.
That's what I'm saying. I can fathom when there's a fight, people just like, oh, cool, fight. But, if you're in a car that's sinking in water, break the window, get out of the car.
I can't imagine how calm you have to be to think to pull out your phone.
I don't think it's calm, dude. I think they actually see that as an ability to reach the outside world of send help.
Yeah. I
Call
mean,
911.
okay. I mean, maybe.
Criminy, dude.
I guess.
Jeez, a whiz.
Yeah, the help came. It said, get out of your car.
Do you guys like Coke?
More so than Pepsi.
Okay,
You mean the drug or the drink?
the drink, dude.
Either way.
This is a family show,
Classic
Steve.
Coca-Cola is delicious.
Actually, I said yes to both.
I mean, I used to drink so much of it. I don't anymore. But I every once in a while, you go to McDonald's to get the best Coke in the game.
No kidding, dude. That's an absolute fact. But did you know that there was more that you could do with it than to drink it? There's actually a handful of different uses.
The Men's Room Top 10.
Yeah.
The Men's Room Top 10.
10 things you had no idea you could do with Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Coke has come in handy on more than one occasion when I've been out in a rural, nondescript plot of overgrown, abandoned land. I needed to gain access to a storage shed where I had a few things stashed. The padlocks were quite rusty. Dip those in a cup of Coke, and success. Unrelatedly, of course, it turns out Coke helps get out lots of stains, including dried blood. You never know when you're going to find yourself in an adverse situation where a Coke really comes in handy.
Indeed.
Mike, what have you used Coca-Cola for other than drinking it?
That's a very short list, Miles.
Well, it should
I mean,
be.
you use it as a kid. You use it with baking soda to make your volcano explode.
There you go.
You put a Mento in it, watch that explode.
Watch that explode.
Yeah, basically, I either drink it or watch it explode.
Okay.
How about you, Miles?
Oh, you cook with it. You marinate with it, barbecue-wise.
Oh, yeah, like ribs?
Sure. You put meatloaf, anything to break down meat. Coca-Cola is great. The other thing, believe it or not, I used to wash my stepfather's car before the days of Armor All and before the days of all that stuff. Coca-Cola he used to give me a flat can of Coca-Cola to wipe and clean the tires because it would erode the first level of rubber on the outside and they'd be shiny black, much like Armor All.
Indeed.
So clean the black part of the tires, like the white walls, all that stuff with Coca-Cola, and then hose it off. And it was like black.
Okay. So there's actually a lot more than 10 on there. So give me a yay or nay as well, as if you guys are willing to try this. Also, don't take any of this to heart. Test it before you actually use it because there's some wild stuff out here. So don't quote me on any of this. But these are things that you had no idea that you could do with Coca-Cola. Miles, to your point, as far as cooking, add it to a sloppy Joe mix.
Yep.
Oh,
anything with meat.
I heard that sounded fantastic, actually.
I would not go chicken, but beef I know for
Probably
sure.
not. A lot of times where people like brown sugar is a part of the recipe. If it's something savory, so a lot of people use ribs, chili, you name it. Coke is a fine substitute.
And a lot of them do call for maple syrup. I wonder if that's also kind of the same
basically
vein there.
Mm-hmm.
Removing marker stains. It'll help remove permanent marker stains and pen marks.
See, I'd always
wish I'd known that when the kids were younger.
I always go clear. Sprite, vinegar, ginger ale.
Would it get it out of carpets?
I don't see why not.
Are you having an issue with that?
Yeah, but coloring on the carpet. I got all fired up when my bedroom got crazy.
Says doing them adult coloring books helps really calm his mind on a Saturday night.
It is. That's what I do. Except last Saturday after Formula One, I told my buddy, I said, I got to go in the room and color. Just chill out. I'll be back.
I'm doing it inside the lines now. Body lotion. A spoonful full of Coca-Cola with regular lotion can give skin a silky look.
Really?
Apparently.
Have you ever wanted to look silky?
I've heard about washing your hair with beer, but I've never heard of that.
Why would you waste beer?
I would not.
When it goes flat.
Gotcha.
Women used to, whatever.
Sometimes on the weekend, I wash my hair with beer.
Yeah.
Intentionally?
Yeah, just kind of, wash all the hair on my head, and maybe if it slips down to my mouth. Whoops.
Oopsie daisy. Lawn care. Combined with other unusual ingredients can help a lawn. A can of Coca-Cola, a can of beer, and a half cup of liquid dishwashing soap, along with a half cup of household ammonia and a half cup of mouthwash will keep a lawn green. The soap helps the mix penetrate the roots, and then ammonia promotes growth to keep a lawn green. That's according to Widespread.
I do know beer helps with slugs. They love that S.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It kills them.
I know, but they can't help it. If you put out a little bowl of beer, they'll get in there.
Coca-Cola cake.
Coca-Cola cake.
I mean, I try it. Like, you have Coca-Cola. There's like fried Coca-Cola at State Fair.
Oh, yeah.
An oil remover. The phosphoric acid in Coca-Cola proves tough on oil stains around the garage. Pour some room temperature Coca-Cola over a stain. Let it soak overnight and soak it up the next day by blotting the area.
Huh.
There you go. Also, right there behind it, paint remover. They also have a coin polisher in there. So basically, it's corrosive enough to where it'll do that.
Oh, it'll eat a nail.
You bet. And you remember all those deals they put up there like, look what it did to this nail. Imagine what it's doing to your insides.
Yeah.
My favorite counter to that was, look what this water did to this pipe. Imagine what it's doing to your insides.
All right.
Dude, that's pretty good. I never thought about that. Like, I don't rust.
It's a chemical reaction, dude.
Yeah.
Things act differently. You have acid in your stomach that if you touch it, it's going to hurt like a bitch. But
And
your
also,
stomach can actually take it.
You know, the FDA does a good enough job that they're like, you can't really just sell people corrosive crap to drink.
Right.
If it did that much damage, they'd be like, we're going to pull this off the market.
You're right. It still blows my mind that there's acid in my stomach doing good, but if it gets out, I'm going to die.
Exactly. Do you know what that acid is? Do you know what protects your stomach from that acid? The same liver? The same crap coming out of your nose.
Yeah.
It is mucus.
Mucus. Yeah.
Huh. It's just snot that's lined in your stomach, and that's what keeps it from burning itself.
That's why snot does not get the recognition it deserves.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, you don't like it on your face, but it's like, dude, the reason your stomach doesn't eat through you is because of the snot.
It's not recognized.
Snot recognized.
Again, these are the things that you never knew that you could do. No idea that you could do with Coca-Cola. A compost invigorator. A sluggish compost pile can be energized with a shot of Coca-Cola. Citric acid is going to spur decomposition.
I thought a compost invigorator is just getting your buddy all hopped up on coffee or something. Get out there and get that compost going, fella.
Yes, out there. Dishwasher. Much like removing rust, Coca-Cola can clean up cast iron skillets in a jiffy.
Huh.
Okay.
Color fader. It's believed to have the ability to lighten hair. A gum remover. Since Coca-Cola contains phosphoric acid, it neutralizes the stickiness of the gum.
I can't believe we can ingest this stuff.
I know, right?
All these things. Like antifreeze. Wonderful.
Bug control.
Jesus.
Window cleaner.
Bug control.
Yeah, bug control.
I figured I'd bring the ants in.
That's
the sweet syrup and other soft drinks attracts ants, which feed on the larvae of pests that plague crops. A 2004 article by BBC News said farmers in India turned using soft drinks as pesticides because they were cheaper than pesticides. So I think it does attract them, but then it kills them after it does. Window cleaner. Citric acid works like other cleaning products. Soothe a jellyfish sting. Now, wasn't that one that it's just you need to kind of increase blood flow to the area? That's why, peeing on it worked because it temporarily kind of warmed it.
Back to acid.
Back to the acid, the acidity of it all. It's not that the pee itself actually did anything with it, but neutralizing skunk odor. Again, these are things that you had no idea that you could do with Coca-Cola.
I had known that, yes.
Why did I don't know that?
No kidding. Thank God you don't ever have to use this one.
Tomato juice.
Miles, tenderizing meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Back to the ribs, back to the brisket.
Yep. The acidity can tenderize the meat. They also say to make a barbecue sauce with it, which as soon as I read this, that makes perfect sense.
Also, don't be afraid to use root beer, Dr. Pepper, all those things. 100%.
Somebody here says at Arby's, we used to clean the metal parts with Coca-Cola overnight.
Doesn't shock me.
Makes sense.
Does not shock me.
They got the meats.
Cleaning eyeglasses.
Huh.
It's basically the same property as the window.
Bee's going to sting me right between my...
Damn it! Cleaning milk stains from clothes. I don't know why you have a whole lot of milk stains on your clothes, but hey, use some Coca-Cola and get rid of that.
Milk doesn't stain.
But then the number one thing that you can do that you had no idea that you could do with the Coca-Cola, cleaning the toilet bowl.
Oh, really?
All right. Yep. It's a picture that circulated around the internet for some time, and it turns out that Coca-Cola can indeed clean rust spots on your toilet. The slight acidity of Coca-Cola can remove stains of all kinds.
What about those turd stains,
That should come off with the brush, Steve.
It should. You ever have one of those tough ones? It's like, damn, dude.
No kidding.
How sticky was this turd?
That one that survived like 3,
I peed on it.
Exactly.
I flushed it. Finally, you're like, okay.
All right. You get the brush.
I give up.
Get the brush out. Miles, how do you stop an uncooperative suspect that's hijacked a front loader?
Ooh, good question.
I'll tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. Have we made it to drinking time?
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Inside every California avocado is a story. It's shaped by idyllic conditions, full of rich soil, gentle rain, and friendly California sunshine, where avocados flourish. Crafted with care by dedicated local farmers who are committed to responsible, sustainable growing. The best avocados have California in them. To understand why, all you have to do is open one up. In season now. Visit CaliforniaAvocado.com to learn more.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car right in your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Is there anything more satisfying than finding something that perfectly lines up with your taste and checks all the boxes? Like getting the perfect fit with a suit from Indochino. Their suits are made to measure and totally customizable with endless options. From timeless classics to bold statements, you can express your style exactly how you want. Choose your own cut, fabric, lining, buttons, lapels, and more to create the suit of your dreams, all at a surprisingly affordable price. They also offer fully customizable blazers, pants, outerwear, women's wear, and more. Every Indochino piece is made to your exact measurements, and they make getting measured easy. Simply set up your measurement profile in less than 10 minutes. You can send your measurements online from the comfort of your home or make an appointment at one of our showrooms. Find the perfect fit with Indochino. Go to Indochino.com and use code PODCAST to get 10% off any purchase of $3.99 or more. That's 10% off with code PODCAST.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you we say, bottoms up, sailor. you're the toast of our shot of the day.
The time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And I had a different shot initially lined up, and then I got some information through the text line, if you will. So I've changed my shot today. We're going to toast my 12-year-old son. All right, listen. I know you don't like doing schoolwork, bro. Nobody does. Your teacher never said, do you want to do this? They said, you have to do this. Big science fair project, annual event at the school, of course. A lot of people put their work in. Again, my son fought this for as long as he could. I want to say we've known about it for maybe 3 months. And it went down today, I believe. And he put up every fight he could to wiggle his way out of it. He has driven us absolutely crazy. We got to do the voice raising, the threats, all this stuff. Finally, this weekend, you finally got around to it, and you put together your science project. And you entered into the science fair, even though you weren't excited about it, you didn't like it, and you got first place, man.
Nice.
There you go.
What kind of threats do you level on it?
I will kill you.
I'll beat your ass. I mean, like,
now,
I know he knows you're not going to do any of that. I'm just saying.
It's more of this. I go like, look, man, we will help, we being me and my wife, we will help you do it, but you got to do it. This is your responsibility, and I'm tired of this S. I don't want to have this conversation again. Usually that's all I have to say. We've had this conversation. Let's not have this conversation again. One, I'm tired of listening to your mom bitch about it to me. So you're making my life worse because you're just not doing this thing. So get it done. And then finally rolls his eyes, and he did it. Anyway, I just wanted him to get it done. He got it done, whatever.
First place.
Got out of the damn... Yeah, I got the text. I'm like, you have got
Well, hopefully that inspires him to try to do
so.
These projects again.
I'm hoping so. Look at this, man. Dude even got... and I didn't know this because it's not like the kids win a whole bunch of stuff, but yeah, they even got a medal for this.
Nice.
Christ's sake.
Tell me he has no medal or trophy in sports.
And look how proud he looks.
Yes.
Look how proud that son of a bitch looks in this picture.
I got a second place once, and all we got was a ribbon.
Really?
Yeah.
Brother, he got a medal.
Oh, dude, you can run a 5K and get a medal. I've got him. It's only 3 miles.
Right. I'm just... Right. Say, if it's science fair, at least they have medals.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that either, and that's cool. So anyway, look, man, it turns out hard work does pay off, even if it was only hard work because you took 3 months of time to do it and crushed it down to like 2 days. It paid off. I'm proud of you. Yeah. I'm glad it worked.
Job.
All about bubbles, Mike. That's what the science fair project was, bubbles. I actually learned more about bubbles than I ever wanted to know.
You told me about it. Honestly, it sounds fascinating. I want to see the presentation.
It ended up being fascinating. I didn't think I would care. I'm like, bubbles for real. But he did his research, so I proofread everything on Sunday night, I believe it was. Find typos and that kind of crap. But as I was reading it, I realized I kept going, huh. That's just how bubbles form, why they do it. So it's a good thing. Good on you, dude.
Blue bubbles.
Yeah.
What's a hot tub without bubbles? Bubbles, get in.
Is it about Michael Jackson?
Yeah. Man, oh, man. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Hey, Stephen Throwhill, could you please everyone down Profile This is played.
A short can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Parker. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Peter Parker, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir. I've never played before, but...
Well, here is your chance, my friend. You have your choice of one of 3 categories. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find under food? We have Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. And finally, we have Hit Me With Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon.
Ooh, let's do the last one.
Hit me with your best shot. All right, a man was charged Saturday with attacking another man during a dispute by striking him several times with an unexpected object. One Cameron Cole, he was charged with second-degree aggravated assault and weapons offenses, and then taken to an area hospital for observation. Police were called shortly before 1 a.m. to a home to investigate a report of 2 men fighting. Police Chief Andrew McGurr said, quote, An on-scene investigation, which included an interview of a witness, determined that Mr. Cole struck the victim with the object, causing lacerations to the victim's neck and arm. Well, the volunteer ambulance squad treated the victim at the scene, but he refused further medical attention. Meanwhile, the aggressor here, Cole, he was taken first to the medical center for a psychological evaluation, and then they took him to jail. The question is, in spite of him getting weapons charges, the real question is, what is the object that he chose to use as a weapon? Was it a USB flash drive? Was it a Pringles can? Was it a turkey leg? Or was it a key ring? So a flash drive, Pringles can, turkey leg, or key ring. What did this man use as a weapon and end up getting weapons charges?
Where'd you say it was? Sorry, I missed it.
I'm going to go with the Pringles can.
Pringles can.
Bergen County.
Parker. I don't think that was a bad guess. Ted, because he went to an institution first and then got arrested, I'm going to go turkey leg because it sounds crazy.
Damn it. I was going to go turkey leg.
You can still go turkey leg. There's turkey for everyone, Ted.
Well, it depends on how well you cooked it, too. Like, you cooked
hopefully the whole way.
If you cooked it correctly, it should just kind of fall off the bone.
Yeah, that meat's gone.
I'll go keychain ring.
Key ring. Okay, what did he attack this guy with? A USB drive, a Pringles can, a turkey leg, or a key ring? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Category is hit me with your best shot on profiles. Got a man charged after striking another man in a fight in New Jersey with an instrument during an argument. He was treated and released. The other guy was arrested and apparently just a mental check of his capacity there. Question is, what did he attack this guy with to the point where he did not need to go to the hospital and he was fine? A USB drive, a Pringles can, a turkey leg, or a key ring, right?
That is correct. And Parker, that is the very question that we posed to you. But let us start with Miles Montgomery. You went for the full crazy and went with the turkey leg.
Renaissance Festival.
Which makes sense. Like you said, they took him for a psychiatric evaluation, and that seems the craziest, but that is not correct. D. Ted Smith. You went with the old key ring, which makes sense. The guy was left with lacerations. However, that is not correct. And Parker, that brings us to you. You went with the old Pringles can. We know how Parker fights now. It was not the Pringles can, believe it or not. He assaulted the other guy with a USB flash drive.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, no wonder no injuries.
But I guess you'd have to stab somebody like in the head and maybe make them bleed.
I mean, either way, he left laceration, so your theory of how he did it is probably the right one, but that's
how I'd go about it.
But that's what's weird when you end up getting a weapons charge. Like, really, you're going to have a weapon. It's a USB flash drive, guys. It's not even a weapon.
Access denied.
Now, for all TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Your choices today: Tomlinson,
Taylor Tomlinson.
Yes. Which again,
I don't know why. I guess I forget. I have not watched her show a bunch, but her stand-up is excellent.
Is it?
It is. It's pretty damn funny. Well, she's funny overall. I should just watch her show instead of
the show's a little weird.
National Geographic at midnight.
Because it's like a game show kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's not
After
bad.
midnight, kind of
it's
like
not
midnight.
bad, but I feel like she is a funny person, but it'd be funnier if she just kind of did it on her own, if you know what I mean.
All right.
That's all. I mean, like I said, the show's fine, but just a bunch of other people, so she doesn't get as much voice time as I think she would do better for herself.
Seth Meyers.
All right.
The Jimmys.
Fallon Kimmel.
Stephen Colbert. Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there. The title always guys have teams of talents and writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Tired of making 2 stops in the morning for a good, healthy, balanced breakfast? Well, good news. McDonald's is now offering Krispy Kreme donuts at all of its locations nationwide by 2026 for one-stop shopping.
Colbert.
Ted Smith.
Smith.
Damn it.
Thank you, though. I tried to set it up like a Colbert joke.
That's who I thought. Well done. Son of a bitch.
Also, like, McDonald's. Just, what do you want? Do you want me to have diabetes?
No, put the donut is the bun.
What?
Once you get that donut in there, I want a sausage patty in between with cheese.
Hey, McDonald or Miles,
yes.
You could do this.
The problem, if that's what you want to do, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying is, the biscuit's fine. The Egg McMuffin is fine.
No, I'm saying, you could do this Saturday.
Just slice that Krispy Kreme in half.
Did they have to do it all for you? Come on.
Yeah.
Apparently, thieves in California stole over $9,000 in Spam, alcohol, and instant coffee. The thieves are being described as armed, dangerous, and recently divorced.
Colbert.
Yeah, Colbert.
Fallon.
Apparently, thieves in California stole over $9,000 worth of Spam, alcohol, and instant coffee. The thieves are described as armed, dangerous, and recently divorced.
Also, Jimmy, I take offense to that joke. I have all 3.
You have instant coffee?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
That's all my mother-in-law drinks. It's crazy.
All my mom drinks.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I say this all the time. I thoroughly, like, my buddy Jesse makes the best cup of coffee you'll probably ever have. But also, at home, I'm just like, I don't have a coffee maker. Instant works.
Instant, there you go.
Sometimes you just need the pick-me-up. On the season finale of The Bachelor, Joey proposed to Kelsey. It was kind of a quiet season for The Bachelor. I don't want to say it got overshadowed by other dating shows, but in the fantasy suite, they just sat there watching Love is Blind.
Kimmel.
Fallon.
It was the season finale of The Bachelor, and Joey proposed to Kelsey. Yeah. Kind of a quiet season for The Bachelor. I don't want to say it got overshadowed by other dating shows, but in the fantasy suite, they just sat there watching Love is Blind. I just thought that's what they did in the fantasy suite.
A group of metal detector enthusiasts in North Carolina recently helped a woman find her lost wedding ring after she lost it in the sand on a beach. And that is the last time a metal detector enthusiast ever sees a wedding ring.
Colbert.
I think it's Seth.
That's Seth.
A group of metal detector enthusiasts in North Carolina recently helped a woman find her wedding ring after she lost it in the sand on a beach. And that will be the last time a metal detector enthusiast ever sees a wedding ring.
I thought that was funny when I was listening to that joke earlier today because yesterday I recommended people watch Dave Attell's new special.
Yeah.
Hot Cross Buns. That's the name of his special, which if you watch it, you'll understand why it's named that. Okay. I thought it was going to be about a bakery. It is not. But ironically, he has a couple jokes about using metal detectors on the beach and everything, which I hadn't thought about in forever. And I mean, literally, it's like that joke. Something about like wedding rings and this and that. So when I heard that joke from Myers, I'm like, I just never thought about making jokes about people that are into metal detecting on the beach, and then it's like you hear 2 of them in a day, within 12 hours.
I'll tell you right now, if I have my druthers, when I retire, I will live very close to a beach. If I do, I'm getting a metal detector. I'm sorry.
Look,
I'm going to be that guy, that
why not?
old man.
There's a group of people that live in my uncle's community, and they go out and do it every morning. They walk on the beach. Essentially, they're in aqua socks or barefoot.
Right.
All right.
They swing that thing probably as far wide as they can, kind of like mowing the lawn. If you had a bigger blade, you cut more. So they do this. And all those guys are in shape. It works their core, just walking on the sand.
I was going to say, they're out walking every day.
Yeah, they do 3.5 miles in the morning. They go home and eat breakfast. And it's kind of a mini workout.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you're, again,
on the beach in the morning.
Walking on the beach, people already like doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. If you did it every morning consistently, I feel like you'd be more apt to go for a long-ass walk every morning.
On normal things.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
That's not sand.
And I mean, I remember being a kid, like, you don't, especially it's like, generally the metal detector dude doesn't show up. He's either there early in the morning or like, you know, like the lifeguards leave at a certain time in those crowded beaches. And then once the lifeguards leave, the beach kind of gets a little more empty, right? You might, you know. People sneak down a cooler.
Of course.
And then metal detector guy shows back up. And, like, I remember as a kid, we just thought it was the coolest thing of all time. Like, I was like, I want to do that. Now I'm middle-aged. I still want to get older and do it.
Ted, buddy of mine, you know Scott from College Park.
Yeah, of course.
He, his buddy runs a amphitheater kind of equivalent to White River.
All right.
So it's Meriwether Post, and they have a grass, lawn seating area. It's pretty substantial, more so than the pavilion. And there's 2 or 3 old guys that come to the gate every morning after everyone's done cleaning up their stuff.
Yeah.
And they go up there and they walk that hillside with metal detectors. Doesn't matter what the show is.
Sure.
Does not matter. They've let these guys in at that point in time, 10, 15 years. I'm not even sure they're still alive. But they would go up there, man, and they would find, and their deal was, he's like, I'll let them in because they're honest. If people leave rings and watches and all that stuff, they will bring them back. Okay. They just want to go up there and walk and find the stuff. So pocket change, if they have keys, they bring them back. Like they have their own thing. I'm sure they have pocketed some stuff, but for the most part, they just went out there looking for things. Yeah, I know that sounds strange, but they would just get up. I mean, Grateful Dead played the night before. What's on the ground here?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what those are.
Yeah, well, they find pipes. They find all kinds of
ground scores.
Yes, exactly. That's a small spoon.
You traded something. I don't know what it is for grilled cheese. It's for ground scores.
Exactly.
Oh, wooks. All right. This is kind of interesting. You might like country. You might not. Kenny Chesney, right? He's a massive country artist. Has a net worth, I like this, over $219 million. Basically, he was on the Today Show. He's massively successful. That's what I'm saying. Like, I remember going to a Kenny Chesney show before I listened to country just because it's awesome. He's playing this summer. Beautiful country girls everywhere. I highly recommend it. You don't even have to go to the show.
Lives in the Caribbean.
Right. He's a massive Tennessee fan. Like, he's living a good life. But he was talking about his fear of failure and everything. And, he's always trying to stay. Like, it's still his biggest fear, which makes, he's always trying to combat it, work on new stuff, this and that. I also like that he said, the one comment I heard, he was saying that when he goes in, like he's going to play Lumen Field, right? Okay. So they'll load in Friday. They'll do a sound check. Then he was saying he'll go up to the 300 level to the highest seat he can because he's like, I want to know how that person sitting up there sees my show.
Okay. That's cool.
I was like, that is pretty cool. Because he was like, then, you know what I mean? Like, if he's pointing up there or he's saying something, he's like, at least I can be like, I was up there.
312, how are you?
Right. Like, I know what you're doing. And look, I mean, we work in the radio industry, right? Like, we get to meet artists and stuff, but I mean, it doesn't make a difference. When you're at a show, especially if you're up in bad seats and it's like, hey, you're just like, oh, yeah, man. Like, we're good up here.
Section 312 is awesome.
Vetter does it. He goes up in the stands to a seat and looks at the venue and then writes down the set.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Which I think is crazy cool.
I will say, the last time I saw Jay-Z, he had one of the cooler setup stages I've ever seen. This was years ago. It was still the Key Arena. But it basically was a round stage.
Okay.
Right? And then he had like a pit that had like a guitar and a drummer, kind of like a little half band.
All right.
Another pit had like a DJ. I think another pit had like maybe a couple other singers and a keyboard. But as he went around and did his set, it was like there was a couple songs where it's just like, oh, he's just singing our section now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
It was
cool.
right. And then there was times he'd move around the whole stage for obviously the biggest songs. I mean, Jay-Z's got 1,000 hit songs. But I was like, man, that's very well done. You know, because you felt like you were a bigger part of it. I would say the Foo Fighters, the first time I saw them, again, years ago at Key Arena, like I didn't know they would have that other stage set out there. So my seats weren't that good. But man, when he came out with Taylor, R.I.P., like I was like, holy S, we are so much closer to them now. And it was just awesome. So
it is a cool thing because when you're on stage, believe it or not, if you've been on a stage, you know this to be true. When the lights are on, you really can't see beyond maybe the first few rows. Everything's dark. So even when they're pointing at you, they don't necessarily see you. But years ago, there was this weird Marvel Avengers live action thing that the then Key Arena. And so took my kid there. I think he was 4 or 5 at the time. But the greatest thing that happened at the end of this production, so it's Captain America, Hulk, Thor, right, all the Avengers. They walk out, and it's just these dudes, but my son will swear to this day that Captain America looked directly at him and waved. And I didn't hard to tell him, like, dude, he's, as far as he can see, it's just this blank thing where there's faces. But the way my son perceived it, so it's just what you're saying, where it's like, yeah, we're part of this. To this day, he is still excited about the fact that Captain America looked directly at him and waved.
yeah, and like Kenny Chesney, stars like that, you know, like we're talking about, the, you know, Dave Grohl, the Foo Fighters, or Eddie Vedder and Pearl. Like, look, they've done this for so long. They could go out there and still put on a hell of a show.
Sure.
But I really respect the fact that they still, like, take time to be like, all right, I'm going to go walk the arena, see what's going on. I mean, maybe they're just being old men, want to get a walk in, like Miles and I metal detecting, right? But, like, I do really respect that. It's like, that's probably how they're so successful in their given thing, is because, like, they want to keep doing that and keep putting on an awesome show.
I've seen Steven Tyler and Joe Perry walk to the back of the stage because they were sold out at the old Igloo in Pittsburgh. And they walked around the speakers and they played, it was sold out. They played 1, 2, 3 songs to the people in the back.
How awesome is that?
Well, the drummer's still facing forward.
Yeah. But I mean, when you're sitting
like you're just sitting there, you couldn't see them, but they're like the spotlight is now coming down on the back of the stage, and they're just like, "Hey guys, thanks, man. Here's a couple." Things are ripped off like 2 or 3 songs.
And how appreciative were those people?
They were going nuts.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Yeah, I've seen some of the cooler stuff now, too, with some of the musicians and stuff. And obviously it helps their social media. But they'll just send out, like, a personal assistant or somebody from their team and just be like, let's say, I don't know, Miles, you and one of your daughters are there, right? And just be like, and the guy will be like, going to see, you know, whoever, and you and your kid will be like, yeah, like, you know, it's for my dad's birthday, so I bought him these tickets. How are your seats? Not that good or whatever. I'm like, do you really like them? Like, yeah. And it's like,
that's why Garth Brooks, 30 seats
like,
in the front row.
Right. It's like, boom, here you go. Wow. Here's better seats. Go sit up there. And
Garth sends people up to bring them down.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, the worst seats in the house.
Really?
Get one. You have a chance. If Garth Brooks.
There's the bottom line, folks. Don't get a mid-range seat.
You're going to be sitting there.
Right. Nobody cares about you.
Go to
you either need to shell out the money for the good seats or sit up for the nosebleed.
And roll the dice.
Exactly. Or if it's a blowout, move down.
Or go to a children's show so you can be moved to the front row.
So it's at the Paramount Theater. All right. 2 days before I took my daughter, both my kids, to see Peppa Pig live, Alice in Chains played there. We went. It was what it was. It was a great show. 2 days later, I'm back for Peppa Pig Live. I don't want to go to this, but this is my parent. I'll take the kids to this thing. I walk in, this dude rolls up. He's like, "Hey, man, are you thrilled?" I'm like, yeah. "Hey, dude, I work here. I got 3 tickets for you and your kids. Dead center front row mezzanine." I was like, "Where the F were you 2 days ago?"
Yeah, right.
The best seats
but how
ever
is it cool to be that close to Peppa Pig?
The kids were very, very appreciative. I'll say that, and I'll leave it at that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to Men's Room.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly, so there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus, at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader. Like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. North Carolina man wins $1 million in a scratch-off because he wanted a hot dog. Because of drugs, One Lake's fish population is in a hazy, buzz-type fog. In Georgia, one stolen front loader is stopped by a bigger loader. Grandson tries to burn down Meemaw's car because of the money he owed her. And 11 masked bandits are on the loose in the Netherlands. Time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cock.
All right, our top story has been changed, gentlemen. I mentioned in the headlines that I wasn't working on that Germany is proposing a ban on the wiener dog, and this just wasn't enough for the people sitting across from me, and I did a little bit more digging into the story.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for more work. It's been a long day, but hey. Turns out that this comes in conjunction with the Animal Protection Act and seeks to put a stop to, quote, torture breeding, as the wiener dog breed has been known to cause spinal abnormalities within the breed. Right. So basically, it's like, you know those dogs that they basically bred to be smaller sizes, they go blind in like 2 years, and they have a whole bunch of health issues. That's kind of on the same token. It's like, okay, yeah, most of them, a lot of them are going to be fine, but there's a lot of them, way too damn many of them that have too many issues when it comes to this, so it's time to put a stop to it. Also in the hot seat for the bill that has been proposed, the German Shepherd, the Schnauzer.
The Schnauzer?
I'm sorry, Miles.
Not the Schnauzer.
The Beagle.
Agreed.
I didn't know the Beagle was German, too.
Neither did I.
It's pronounced Beagle.
Yeah. I'd rather have more German Shepherds.
Yeah.
As much as they are what they were always really good dogs to me as a kid.
They're great dogs.
Yeah, loyal,
Don't they also
cool.
just have really bad hips, though?
I just think, they always walk with their ass on the ground.
Yeah.
They're always like butt down.
German Shepherds?
Yes. I don't know. They squat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of scared of them.
Oh, as far as
Dobermans for me.
They're intimidating looking because of those ears, but they are very, very sweet dogs.
All right. Dobermans used to intimidate me because that's what everyone who was a badass had a Doberman when I was a kid. Now I love them.
I heard they go crazy too, but you know what?
Really?
I've never really met one.
Well, you put a chain around his neck, it looks more intimidating.
Fair.
Take the chain off.
Just saying in general, I feel like the German Shepherd is more of an aggressive history.
Oh, it's a working dog, absolutely. Yeah. 100%. It's a bully breed.
Working 9 to 5.
I'd rather deal with a German Shepherd than a Doberman.
We go to Georgia where they fight fire with fire. Police got a call about a man at a waste management facility that had hijacked a front loader. Before you think that this was a joyrider having a good old time on some big equipment, the man is a former employee of the facility who was ignoring crew demands to abandon the vehicle. After officers made an attempt to stop the front loader, the driver headed out into the public roads and fled from police, which is when another employee hatched an idea. After getting the green light from authorities, the employee fired up another front loader and charged after the hijacker, eventually catching up to him and flipping his on its side.
Damn.
The suspect was taken to the hospital for a quick evaluation before being brought to jail.
Wow.
Hey, man, what if I just grab this bulldozer and push his over?
Like they say, there's always a bigger fish.
No, there's nothing else we can do. We absolutely have to do it this way.
Right? I mean, kind of makes sense.
I mean, it does. But just tell me he wasn't a little bit giddy. He was like, charge!
Oh, you know he was fired up.
Exactly.
I got this, boss.
About damn time, Joey.
Break out Big Bridget.
Ate my lunch out of the damn fridge all the damn time.
I knew it was him, that son of a bitch. I wrote my name on my Tupperware.
Glad you went crazy. Tipping you over, bitch.
Ate my final deviled egg. Let me get him.
Final deviled egg. In other news, over to the Netherlands, where things didn't go according to plan at a local zoo. The facility had just welcomed an entire family of 12, count them, 12, a dozen raccoons into the facility that had gotten they had gotten from a foundation that shelters exotic animals. Side note:
raccoons are exotic.
Over in the Netherlands, raccoons are exotic.
Yeah, okay, Netherlands. Right.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
They were keeping the raccoons in a separate zone in their enclosure to give them space to relax and settle into their new home. Makes sense. They're in a brand new area. They're going to be a little bit skittish. Time to give them some time to relax. But when crews came back to check on everything, they were a little stunned to see that the enclosure was completely empty. A short investigation found that there were a couple of pieces of mesh that were improperly fitted together, which made for the perfect place for them to dig their way out, and all of them got out.
I almost feel bad for the Netherlands. Like, look, guys, I know it's exotic to you. We're used to raccoons.
You got raccoons now.
They're a thing.
They managed to wrangle 2 of the animals back into custody, but have yet to locate the rest. They've set traps and lures in an attempt to bring them all back. I like how they're like, this particular breed of raccoon is not harmful to humans. Like, guys, they're just going to knock over your trash cans.
Right.
You're now infested. It's kind of like herpes at this point. You can't get rid of them because they're just going to go out there and breed like rabbits because they're a mammal and they enjoy having a good old time, and you're going to have raccoons all over the damn place.
Herpes with 4 legs.
Like did that animal relief work in Mexico. This kid brings in his raccoon, man. So out of anesthesia, I'm trying to get the thing awake. I got it on my shoulder. I'm like, this is a raccoon. This is crazy.
Yeah.
He started kissing my neck and my face. And he just like hugged on to me and held real tight. And I'm like,
what up, dude?
I really like raccoons now.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
My uncle shot one at Thanksgiving one time.
He's a buddy.
Did you eat it?
No.
Skinny though, man. He's a skinny little rat.
He was getting into their doggone chickens. And he killed one. And we were sitting around the Thanksgiving table, and he's sitting there. He's at the head of the table, and he can face one of the windows. And all of a sudden, he goes, "Everybody, just keep on talking. Just act normal." And then he walks away. He goes, and then my aunt's like, "Is it the raccoon? Is he back?" He grabbed the shotgun, and he did. He blew it right out of the tree.
Jesus.
Wow. Hey, you don't kill his doggone chickens, man.
Serious about his chickens.
Oh, man. And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
I'm in North Carolina. They even knew I was going to tell that story on the air. She was like, you're going to use that for your radio show? He was like, yeah, one of these days. A man in North Carolina had his whole life changed thanks to a hot dog. He was out on the road when he decided to stop at a convenience store to get himself a hot dog. While paying for his delicious snack, he elected to buy himself a lottery scratcher as well and took his wares out to his car, savoring the moment. The man scratched his ticket in his car, revealing that he had won the $1 million jackpot.
Awesome.
Absolutely, dude. He was like, I couldn't even believe it at first, which I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I would not either. Men's Room IPA continues to spread about the Pacific Northwest. We got a text today that the beer is at Circle Food Store in Renton.
Nice.
Another text saying that it's also in Renton at the Chevron off of Sunset and Union. We also got an email that it's at Longhouse Market and Deli in Squim, a handful of different locations there. You can find a comprehensive list of locations on the Men's Room page of KISW.com. Men's Room Sports. There's some hockey on over on TNT tonight. Basketball on ESPN. The Trailblazers are on route
last night looking good.
How about the damn Kraken last night?
I'll start insulting you more, Kraken.
Beating the Ducks.
Tomorrow, baseball, though.
Win out. Oh, that's right. Opening day tomorrow. Yeah. Boston Red Sox are in town to get their ass kicked.
Oh.
By your ship. Ass kicked. Ass kicked. Trailblazers are en route against the Hawks, and the college tournament basketball continues tonight over on ESPN2. As far as your weather, we're done with the rain for the most part today and a few scattered showers throughout the night, which leads into tomorrow where we will once again have scattered showers and temperatures reaching into the low 50s.
People can't see that.
I know, right? We got to start streaming this thing. But that's it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. Big timing tomorrow. The head chef is back with Ted's Meat and Potatoes. Kevin Deers up next.
Yes, indeed. It is all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.